Start the night, Arkansas State won the toss and deferred. It'll be Luke Ferguson kicking away for the Red Wolves, and off we go in the 15th RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. The freshman Jaquise Dancy is one of the return men back there for Louisiana Tech, but it's going to be Boston Scott, the running back, drilled after a 9-yard return. Jeff Driscoll, a familiar name, a familiar face for a lot of college football fans. 4 seasons at Florida, had 1 season cut short by injury. The numbers weren't all that great in a 4-year span. He comes into Skip Holt's offense, and he explodes for over 3,500 yards.
And he's had a tremendous year, and a graduate transfer that became a team captain very quickly. That says enough about that young man right there.
Redshirt senior out of Oviedo, Florida, the Conference USA Newcomer of the Year. Had a great season, and he's got Kenneth Dixon to his left to start the game. Toss play to Dixon from the 12 with Ricky Jones blocking for him, and there goes the NFL ready Kenneth Dixon, first team all-conference, runs it for 17 yards and a first down.
This is what we're going to see if Dixon is healthy. Remember, he got a bad ankle in about game 7. This bowl practice time and the time off has really helped him. He's a special player. If he's on, this offense for Louisiana Tech is very difficult to handle.
From the 29, setting up the screen for a twisting Dixon, and he turns it into a very solid play out to the 35-yard line, where Javon Roland Jones makes the stop after a 7-yard gain. 2 of our impact players on this side of the ball.
And we've already seen Kenneth Dixon, and he's an NFL guy, and Trent Taylor is a volume catcher, and then Roland Jones is the edge pressure guy. Rocky Hayes has 6 interceptions, former running back, but he's learning how to play outside really well.
On first down, it's a keep for Jeff Driscoll, second down rather, and he's going to end up sliding down for a loss of a yard back to the 35-yard line. Driscoll, a very good dual threat quarterback out of high school. He's been more focused on passing the ball this year.
And Adam, I turned on the tape to study this young man for this game, and this is the type of quarterback that he's always had the ability to be, and I'm glad we get to see it before his career is over with.
There is a Louisiana Tech player who was getting checked out on the near side of the field. Seemed like there was a slight delay, and a Red Wolf had to go to the far side as well. Boston Scott checks in for Dixon on this 3rd down and 4 play. Pressure on Driscoll, who finds Taylor over the middle for a first down. That is catch number 90 this season, and a gain of 8 to move the chains for the junior out of Shreveport.
And Trent Taylor is the slot guy, and they move Taylor around also to create mismatches inside, because Adam, remember what he's going to get coverage-wise inside. He's going to get a nickel back, which is a lot of times your 3rd best corner, or linebacker, or a safety, and it's a mismatch in favor of Louisiana Tech on all of those fronts.
From the 43 off play action, trying to beat him over the top for Carlos Henderson, and he's got it inside the 10. First and goal, Louisiana Tech. "53 yards for Henderson, who's shaken up."
Carlos Henderson is certainly the speed guy. You can see number 1 matched up on 29, Chris Hughes, who's actually a safety. And once again, it's about the mismatch inside. You get your speed guy in Henderson on a safety in Humes, and Henderson wins that one right there.
You saw that left ankle plant awkwardly at the end of that play, and he is being checked out on the sideline. Their big play threat goes for 53. From inside the 5, Driscoll keeping. Driscoll, not a lot of real estate, and he gets run out of bounds by Cody Brown. It'll be 2nd down and goal, and Henderson finally back up to his feet.
And remember, his game is all about speed, Adam. So when you get a little tweak in the lower body, that means a ton for a speed guy, and that does not look good. Louisiana Tech offensively is about, it's kind of NFL-esque in a sense. It's about finding the mismatch. A lot of times they'll go 3 by 1, and Henderson will be isolated on the one side, and he'll get to use his speed. Now that's obviously in question.
You see a 21.5 per catch. He's that type of big play threat. from the 9, 2nd and goal. Looking for Dixon, and a back shoulder catch for a touchdown. What a start for the Bulldogs. If you blink, you're gonna miss something tonight. Two of the best offenses in the country.
And remember, the 28 Kenneth Dixon running the wheel route out of the backfield is a running back. And that's why the NFL loves that guy. He was matched up on Kari Lane right there and just out of the reach, but Dixon keeps his feet in, possesses the football all the way to the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a running back that's going to be playing at the next level.
Great hands. He's been stymied the last couple of games for Louisiana Tech on the ground, but he's got great hands out of the backfield.
Yeah, they're going to take a further look at this one, there's no doubt, but I liked what I saw the first time. I think Dixon had possession, had his feet in. I think that's going to be a good catch.
Adam Savoie, the Shreveport, Louisiana native, is our lead official, part of this American Conference crew. And you saw the great look from our pylon cam. Likely we'll get another look at Kenneth Dixon trying to twist his way to a catch. He has outstanding hands, 2 feet. That'd be good in the NFL with both feet in bounds and 2 hands possession.
Yeah, and what Dixon did, he didn't lose possession of the ball. It didn't come loose in the end. He just tucked the ball underneath his left arm. I think all of that is good stuff.
If this stands or if it is confirmed, this will be career touchdown number 84. Passing Monte Ball for sole possession, a second all time.
Kyrie Lane.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Kyrie Lane, number 9, was in man-to-man coverage, and Dixon beat him. And then it was Rocky Hayes that was helping out from that safety position, but got there just a little bit too late. But what a start for Louisiana Tech, and Driscoll in particular. 7 plays, 88 yards. It didn't take long, but Driscoll was on fire. 5 for 5 to start this game.
Extra point by Jonathan Barnes, and Louisiana Tech strikes first on its opening touch. Didn't take long for Skip Holtz's offense to find the end zone. 3 minutes in and a 7-0 Louisiana Tech lead. Again, we've already seen a handful of tight ball games today. On the opening day of Capital One Bowl Mania, the Celebration Bowl was a one-score game. The Gildan, New Mexico Bowl was a one-score game. The Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl somehow ended up as a one-score game. And Appalachian State just won on the final play of the game on a field goal. That's a one-score game, and we're expecting a tight one here in New Orleans tonight as well.
Yeah, this one can certainly be like that, Adam, but Arkansas State is going to have to run the football effectively. I don't like the matchup for them defensively that we just saw. When Driscoll is hot and Dixon is healthy, Louisiana Tech is a handful offensively.
So Barnes will kick away to J.D. McKissick, one of the most versatile players in college football for Arkansas State. But he will not have a chance at this one. Out to the 25 will come the Red Wolf offense. In 2 years with Blake Anderson as the head coach and this staff in place, they have set Sun Belt records in back-to-back seasons for most points scored. And Freddie Knighton, a guy that at one point didn't really have a role, has flourished the last 2 years.
And the offensive coordinator, Walt Bell, simply said he's the best player in our conference, period. And most of the time when this young man got back from that groin injury that he suffered against Missouri, he's been lights out. He's the reason this offense is a very difficult out.
5'11", 197-pound senior out of Little Rock, Arkansas, playing his final college football game tonight. Quick throw, McKissick on the outside, and he lunges forward for about 4.5 yards. J.D. McKissick, one of the more versatile players in this country, Kelly. Well, if you've enjoyed your first day of the bowl season, I can understand why. One score game after one score game after one score game, and folks, this game is primed to be the highest scoring game of the day. Two of the best offenses in college football. Former longtime conference rivals Arkansas State and Louisiana Tech meeting for the first time since 1998. Arkansas State's record-setting offense is on the field, and a line drive to Trez Houston from the quarterback Freddie Knighton for a first down on a gain of 12. 3 minutes into this game, Louisiana Tech broke the scoreboard seal after Jeff Driscoll led this team down the field, got a touchdown to Kenneth Dixon, and now Arkansas State's first possession of the day has them at the 41-yard line. Michael Gordon slips ahead for 3 yards with a penalty marker thrown. Adam Amin, Kelly Stauffer, Dr. Jerry Punch, our fantastic crew here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome on day one of Capital One Bowl Mania.
Personal foul, block below the waist. Offense number 19. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Darion Griswold gets called for the personal foul against Arkansas State. Two of the best weeks of the year starting today. Two of the best offenses in the country on display in this game. Two of the hottest teams in the country as well. Arkansas State started 1-3. They've won 8 straight games since. They're the Sun Belt champions. Louisiana Tech started 1-2. They have won 7 of their last 9 ball games.
And they get to it offensively in different ways. We've already seen that Louisiana Tech is a pass-first team, and Jeff Driscoll started this game hot. Arkansas State, on the other hand, runs 63% of the time.
Freddie Knighton is their senior quarterback. He's a great dual-threat athlete. He slides to get almost all of that penalty yardage back. And he slides down at the 42-yard line, a 13-yard run.
And Arkansas State is going to want to go fast as well, as we're going to see right here. But that's when Knighton is at his best, running the football.
High-tempo, high-pace offense, and J.D. McKissick trying to twist ahead. Got run down by Kentrell Bryce, a yard shy of the line to gain right at midfield on an 8-yard play.
And Adam McKissick is the guy that Arkansas State likes to build touches for. They will move him around, and typically you will find him inside on usually a nickel defender or a linebacker. 3rd down and 1. McKissick in the game. He gets the carry. He gets the first down and bursts inside the 45-yard line. A 9-yard run for J.D. McKissick. They want to get him about 12 touches per game between offense and special teams, already a few. Yeah, they're off to a good start of doing just that, and we've already seen that he will get in the backfield and carry the football. He's the fly sweep guy. We've had rumors that he might throw the football tonight, but a great block that time by Warren Wan, a young freshman running back out on the edge.
He's in the game because we saw Michael Gordon limp off the field. He is Arkansas State's leading rusher. Knighton off the fakes, throwing off his back foot, a dangerous pass, but it does sail out of bounds. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10. Michael Gordon is Arkansas State's leading rusher, closing in on some Arkansas State records, closing in on 3,000 career yards, and he is getting tended to on the sidelines for the Red Wolves by their training staff.
And Gordon is the most complete back, and he's had the most touches. He also has home run speed. He's a very good pass protector, hangs onto the football, but Johnston White is no pushover, and we've already seen the youngster Warren Wan in the game.
Here's Johnston White, a powerful bruising back, working his way to the 33-yard line. Into Lloyd Grogan after a run of 8 yards to set up a makeable 3rd down. If you haven't figured it out yet, Arkansas State, high pace, high tempo. They have scored 492 points this year under Blake Anderson. They've set the Sun Belt record for offense the last 2 years under Blake Anderson. 3rd down and 2. Screen pass for Wan, and he gets drilled and brought down. Xavier Woods making the stop back at the 38-yard line, and then a penalty marker comes flying in.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 11, taunting. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That's number 11's first unsportsmanlike conduct of the game.
Lloyd Grogan got called for the taunting penalty, so that gives a fresh set of downs to the Red Wolves. Grogan was on the ground, had the ankle, and then you see him talking over him, standing over.
That's unfortunate because Grogan made a tremendous play. He's the one that really blew up that swing screen. But you can't stand over a guy and taunt him. It cost his team 15 yards right there.
And a fresh set of downs to the 24. Keeper for Knighton with a plenty of space on the perimeter. And he gets ripped down, and this may be a horse collar penalty on the outside against Aaron Robertson. Arkansas State is usually the more penalized team. Louisiana Tech having some issues.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 36, half the distance to the goal, first down.
It was Robertson. It was the face mask, not the back of the jersey and inside the shoulder pads. So Grogan with a personal foul, and then Robertson compounds it. Well, it could have been either one, frankly.
Yeah.
A clear hold of the face mask of Knighton there, and it's first down and goal at the 5-yard line. Knighton to Juan, and the freshman gets spun out of bounds shy of the goal line by Kentrell Bryce. And another penalty flag comes flying in, this time from the far side of the field. Adam Savoy leads our American Conference officiating crew. It looks like one of his officials is already bloodied. Underneath the right eye, one of his fellow officials has some blood pouring down, and the Shreveport, Louisiana native has another call on an already busy night.
After the play, personal foul and necessary roughness, offense number 15. 15-yard penalty, second down.
So Trez Houston, one of their very good wide receivers for Arkansas State, gets called for that penalty, the redshirt senior.
And he was mixing it up with 45 Jalen Ferguson, the redshirt freshman that is the good edge rusher. And obviously there's a little bit of acting by Ferguson, but Trez Houston gets called for it nonetheless. But how about the official? I think he actually got knocked over on the sideline by the freshman running back Warren Wan on that last run. All heck is breaking loose here early.
So it's second and goal from the 17-yard line. Knighton under pressure, throwing it up top for Houston. Did he hold on? He did. A flag is thrown, but a touchdown for Trez.
I think this is actually going to be offensive pass interference on Trez Houston.
You felt like that push-up right when he got into the end zone, right, Cal?
Yeah, Darius Barnes had really good coverage.
Pass interference, offense number 15. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, I think you're right, Adam. Trez Houston pushed off on really good coverage by Darius Barnes, number 21. Press coverage, good jam at the line of scrimmage, get in the hip pocket, look for the football, and you saw the left arm of Trez Houston throw Barnes by right there.
Yeah.
Had him hooked and threw him out of position. You can't gain advantage like that. Very well called on the field by the officials.
The offenses have been busy. The officials have been busy so far tonight. We've only played a half quarter, so.
The officials have been bloodied. I don't think that's supposed to be part of the game.
So Blake Anderson frustratedly looks out there after Louisiana Tech penalties kept this drive alive. Red Wolf penalties have sent them back to the 32 for second and goal. And a whistle blows this play dead for delay of game.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
You ever seen a start like this, my friend?
I need to take my jacket off. I'm getting a little warm right here. There's a whole lot happening.
You just saw a game-winning field goal in the Camellia Bowl. We join you in one of the great cities in the country for one of the fun matchups, and so far, trust me, it has been. And everybody sitting at home watching is going, what's going on right now? This is some fun, though.
How many second and goals from the 38 have you seen? That's another question.
First time in my life, my friend. Freddie Knighton spinning away. Flag is thrown. And he fires, and it's nearly intercepted by Bryson Abraham, but we'll have to check the flag back near the 45-yard line.
I think Kyle Harris, number 7, he's going to get called for the hold. So what are we going to have? A second and goal from about the 50.
Have you seen second and goal from inside your own territory? Because I think we might have one coming up. We're close to it at the very least.
Yeah, this might do it right here.
Holding, offense number 70. Penalty is declined. Third down.
Kyle Harris is the left tackle who's playing for the injured first-team All-Sun Belt selection, Jamar Clark. It's a very thin offensive line for Arkansas State. Now, the penalty was declined by Louisiana Tech because they want to get rid of that down, so they'll keep it at the 37-yard line, and it's 3rd down and goal. From the 37-yard line. They'll keep it conservative with Johnston White. And he'll work his way inside the 20 to set up a much easier field goal for a struggling kicker in J.D. Houston. Good job by White to get 18 much-needed yards. And now the junior from Mississippi will come out. J.D. Houston started his season 9 of 9, but he has missed 2 of his last 3 attempts. And actually, they're going to go with a different kicker here than usual for Arkansas State. Well, it is J.D. Houston, a number change for J.D. Houston. He's wearing 41. And Houston, who's been in that slight funk, is able to put Arkansas State on the board. 6:38 for the first, some fireworks. Trust goal. Adam Amin, Kelly Stauffer will check in with Dr. Jerry Punch in a moment. Boston Scott from the 2-yard line. And he gets extra yardage, staying on his feet. Out to the 34-yard line. And Doc, some early fireworks and some early injuries to key players.
Yeah, Adam, a couple of key players injured and maybe questionable for this game. Carlos Henderson, the speedy wide receiver for Louisiana Tech, made a catch on the opening possession, came down right foot. He couldn't put weight on it. He's been taken in for x-rays. And the senior running back for Arkansas State, Michael Gordon, left knee sprain. MCL, they're going to put a brace on him, see if he can go, but questionable right now if he can get back on the field.
And Doc, 2 explosive offensive players,
No
one
doubt.
on each side already potentially out of this game. So Jeff Driscoll, the former Florida Gator, goes to work from the 34. 6 of 6 passing the football as he finds Paul Turner, the former LSU Tiger, is taken out after a gain of about 2 by Robert Mondi, the senior. Jeff Driscoll, a very familiar name and face to college football fans. Those are his numbers from 4 seasons at Florida. One of those seasons was cut short due to injury. Those are his numbers from just this year under Skip Holtz.
Yeah, you turn on the tape and I've watched this kid since he enrolled at Florida, and it's like this is what he was meant to do. He's had a great season.
Running the zone read. And a good play to bring down Dixon. Up front, it's Chris Odom, the junior from Arlington, Texas, bringing him down for no gain to set up 3rd down.
Adam, what we're going to see out of Louisiana Tech schematically on the offensive side is a lot of 3-by-1 sets, and then Driscoll is in charge of determining where they have the right matchup, like we see right here. 3 down at the bottom, 1 at the top.
Free play. It's going to be an offside, so Driscoll takes a shot for the man at the top in Paul Turner. This will be a free 5 yards likely for Louisiana Tech. We've already seen nearly 70 penalty yards accepted already in this game between the 2 teams. Most of them on that last drive. Here is Adam Savoie.
Offside. Defense number 85. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Chase Robinson, the redshirt junior from Memphis, the edge rusher for Blake Anderson's defense, got called for that. He's basically starting in that role because Chris Stone, a 2nd-team all-conference player, was arrested along with wide receiver Tyler Trocine on drug charges 11 days ago. So they were suspended for this game. 3rd down and 3. Driscoll on the slant, a low throw, and it is incomplete, looking for Marcus Gaines. The coverage out on the perimeter by Wagner, and it brings up 4th down.
That ball didn't look like it came out right, or it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. I couldn't tell which, because Kenneth Dixon was sliding over in front of the quarterback in pass protection, and actually it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. The defensive end right there, I think it was number 55. I didn't get the number for sure, but that was certainly tipped.
Woodson Luster. So Blaze Taylor, who's got a couple of punt return touchdowns in his career, isn't going to have much of a return on this one with a good hang time on the play. It was touched by a Louisiana Tech Bulldog and Blake Martin right around the 18-yard line, so the ball should be dead right around there. It's a 40. We'll head back out there. It's a team that started 1-3. They lost at USC when they were in the top 10, lost to Missouri when they were in the top 25, lost at a very good Toledo team. They've won 8 straight since. Here is Warren Wan, the freshman, taken down by a Darius Barnes for a loss. Freddie Knighton is the senior quarterback for Arkansas State. He has flourished in the last 2 seasons ever since Blake Anderson took over as head coach. The offense has been great with Knighton.
Yeah, and he's a tremendous athlete, and certainly when he came back from his injury, he was relaxed and loose and has played really well.
Handles that low snap and decides to take off. Tried to get to the edge and got taken down by Xavier Woods. First team Conference USA safety. And it brings up 3rd down.
Xavier Woods is fast in his own right, and Freddie Knighton needs to understand that. Just get as much as you can and get up the field. Right now, Knighton is much more of a special athlete, still learning how to play the quarterback position.
Late blitz on Knighton on 3rd and 10. Keeping the play alive with his feet, and it is incomplete for Warren Leapart. So Arkansas State's explosive offense, which averages 41 points a game, top 10 in the country. They've scored 495 points this season to set a new Sun Belt record. Goes 3 and out, and Trent Taylor will step back to return a Luke Ferguson punt.
Well, Arkansas State needs to be able to run the football and pass when they want to, not when they have to. And they were behind the sticks there, and it didn't work out very well.
Again, no Michael Gordon on the field, as Doc told you. He's dealing with an injury early in this game, the knee. Pressure coming on Ferguson, nearly got to him, did Bryson Abraham, and it is muffed by Taylor. It looked like he dove back on top of it, though. Trent Taylor, nearly disastrous play, and the junior from Shreveport was able to recover it back behind his own 40. Nice job by Ferguson to get it away with the Bryson Abraham pressure bearing down on him, too. So 3:47 to play here in the first, and Louisiana Tech's offense back on the field. There was Abraham, nearly got to the right foot of the senior from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Got it away. Tech ball.
Until then, back to Adam and Kelly, guys.
Chris, thanks so much. Some big news there for Will Greer, transferring out of Florida, just as Jeff Driscoll did at the end of last season, earlier this year, calendar year in January. Phenomenal season, the Conference USA Newcomer of the Year. Gives it to Kenneth Dixon. And Kenneth Dixon exploding down the sideline. Rocky Hayes got him by the jersey at the 31-yard line.
The quarterback zone read. Driscoll does this so very well, and what he's going to do, he's going to read the end man on the line of scrimmage right there. As he steps upfield or hesitates, you give it right away to Kenneth Dixon. Very well read by Driscoll.
Going to go right back to Dixon. He had 1 carry on the opening drive, 2 carries into the end zone, but a flag is thrown on the play. Back-to-back 31-yard runs.
Block below the waist. Offense number 80. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that last run is negated by the Cam McKnight penalty. That touchdown would have tied Keenan Reynolds' record for most touchdowns scored with 85. Instead, it's negated due to the redshirt freshman's mistake.
Louisiana Tech is at their best when they get Dixon going, and then they also have the obviously Driscoll and his experience in the pass game. They're a pass-first team statistically, but that mainly lately is because Dixon has been banged up. He's now seems healthier than I saw him on tape in a long while.
He had 35 total rushing yards the final 2 games of the season for Louisiana Tech. He's already ran for 42 yards in this game. Driscoll had it batted down by that impact defensive end, Javon Roland Jones, the redshirt sophomore, first team all-conference, knocked it down, and it's 2nd and 14.
Yeah, Roland Jones has 9 sacks, but watch right here. Make eye contact with the quarterback. If you're not going to get to him, impede the pass. That's exactly what Roland Jones is taught, and that's what he did on that play.
Stepped around Boston Scott, who was out there for a block. Scott comes off, and Dixon is back in. Blitz coming for the Red Wolves, and Driscoll has nowhere to go. Chased down by Roland Jones as he slid down for another loss, and it's 3rd and long.
Xavier Woodson-Luster, number 55, was coming on that edge blitz that you talked about, and then Roland Jones is quick as a hiccup right off the edge, and he ends up getting to Driscoll. Look at all the games that Arkansas State is playing up front. They're very diverse on the line of scrimmage. Pretty simple on the back end in coverage.
A lot of different looks, but they're only going to rush 3. Driscoll fires short of the sticks. It's caught by Dixon, but a couple of yards shy of the line to gain as Rocky Hayes ran him down. This is right around the field goal range for Jonathan Barnes, the Baton Rouge native. And it looks like the field goal unit will come on for Louisiana Tech. So Barnes, out of Woodlawn High School in Baton Rouge, 2nd team all-conference, was a semifinalist for the Grozo Award, 18 of 22 on the season. This would tie his career long from 50. And got that late hook through. Hit a 50-yarder against Louisiana Lafayette earlier this season. This 50-yarder makes it a 7-point Bulldog lead.
Jonathan Barnes got all of this one, and he drifted it in from the right side, kind of like a 3-iron. Hit it hard and then let it fall into the green. That's exactly what that kick looked like. That was good from another probably 6 to 8 yards.
Louisiana Tech, a team that started 1-2 this season. One of those losses came in their conference opener on the road against Western Kentucky. Remember that great quarterback that they have, Brandon Doughty? You're going to see Western Kentucky in the Miami Beach Bowl coming up this week on ESPN. Capital One Bowl Mania continuing at the end of this matchup Monday on ESPN. This will be Chris Murray on the return for Arkansas State. And he gets brought down at the 29-yard line. Again, Willie Taggart earlier this month ended up signing a 5-year extension at South Florida, but the long-standing history playing for Jack Harbaugh at Western Kentucky, one of the great dual-threat quarterbacks in that program's history. Long-time assistant coach, took over as the head coach of Western Kentucky after spending some time on Jim Harbaugh's staff at Stanford and led that team to its first FBS Bowl appearance a few years ago. They have continued their success. They were the Conference USA champs this season. The Sun Belt champions go back to work, and J.D. McKissick gets hammered down after a strong run. The hit put on by Cedric Cooper, keeping McKissick on the deck after a 14-yard run.
Remember, Adam, that Doc already reported that Michael Gordon is out of the game and questionable. That's why we saw McKissick actually in the backfield, and I think we would see that more, him getting more true running back touches, and now he lays on the turf. We talked about McKissick as the guy that Arkansas wants to build touches for, but it was the late shot right there as McKissick was spinning, and that was a brutal one. Cedric Cooper was the one with the late shot.
You know, at the end of that play, you saw the forearm make contact above the shoulders, and that would possibly indicate a potential targeting penalty. There was no flag thrown on the play. Again, the targeting rule, and I want to point out the first line of this. targeting of a defenseless opponent with forcible contact to the head and neck area. Now, there was no penalty marker thrown, and that brings up the question, was that forcible contact above the head or neck area? Forcible being the key word
But
there.
the qualification is a defenseless player, and a running back running the football is not defenseless.
That's
so
true.
the only time that targeting could apply in that situation is if it was with the crown of the helmet by the defender, and I don't think that the defender right there, Cedric Cooper, actually led with the crown, although he did lead with the forearm to the neck and head. There's no question, but it's not a defenseless player, so I think that's why targeting doesn't apply.
Yeah, I think in both of those axioms that we just showed you, Kelly's correct. Doesn't seem to apply to either one, and McKissick is a running back. The same rules apply to quarterbacks
Exactly.
when they start taking off. If they're in the pocket, sure, they're considered to be a potentially defenseless player. As tough as that looks, J.D. McKissick is not a defenseless player according to the rule book. This is great to see. He's up on his feet. And Blake Anderson might be talking about just that with Adam Savoie right now. And McKissick, who is second among active players in career receptions right now, has to come off the field. Bad snap, handled by Knighton, under pressure, and he gets grabbed and brought down by Cooper, stayed on his feet somehow, and was able to surge forward to turn it into a lesser loss back to the 40-yard line.
Louisiana Tech is doing a great job of beating the blocks outside and beating the blocker really to the point of attack, because Arkansas State knows that Louisiana Tech is very strong up the middle. They want to run to the edges and throw vertically to the edges.
Knighton over the middle, and a back shoulder catch is made by Sterling Stowers inside of Louisiana Tech territory after a gain of 11. Xavier Woods came charging in with a big hit. But it sets up a makeable third down and a long 1 yard here. Option play. Johnston White lost the football, recovered it, and it looked like he recovered it past the line to gain, so it should be enough for a first down, and it is.
With Michael Gordon out with the injury, and we just saw the injury to McKissick, and Johnston White is going to carry the ball right here, but Johnston White and Warren Wan really don't have that extra gear that Gordon and McKissick does, and that's what they lose. Arkansas State does in the backfield. When those two guys are out, that explosiveness, the home run hit ability in that run game, other than their quarterback, Freddie Knighton, certainly still possesses that.
Play clock is running down. There is less time on the play clock than there is the game clock.
State, they're first. 30 seconds.
They had to run a play at the end of that quarter, so they're forced to use a timeout to avoid losing those 5 yards. You know, this is a rarity, it feels like, for Arkansas State. A coach that stuck around for more than one season. As a matter of fact, Blake Anderson said that the kids for this program deserve some stability. After Hugh Freeze took over for 9-year head coach Steve Roberts, used it as a launch pad to go to Ole Miss. Gus Malzahn comes in for 2012, then takes the Auburn job. Brian Harsin comes in for a year, goes back to Boise State as the head coach when Chris Peterson leaves for Washington. Blake Anderson comes in after a successful stint under Larry Fedora at North Carolina. Is named the head coach. They have a 7-6 campaign last year. They miss out on winning the Sun Belt Championship, but they reload, regroup, and they won their 4th Sun Belt title in the last 5 years this year. Here is Warren Wan on the final play of the first quarter. And Warren Wan has a first down, grabbed at the 35-yard line by Cooper and Abraham. The ball may have come out loose at the end of the play, and it did. Aaron Robertson came out of the pack with it. And the head linesman is saying that that ball was loose, and Robertson has it for Louisiana Tech.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by Louisiana Tech. First down. That's the end of the first quarter.
Kel, we had a little bit of everything in the first 15 minutes.
Did.
What has been an explosive first quarter full of long plays, couple of scores, a ton of penalties, and a Robertson takeaway, the freshman from Shreveport.
Catch your breath, my brother.
That ball was loose. Robertson alertly picked it up. We're through 15. Work from their own 37-yard line. Kenneth Dixon brought down in the backfield by Rocky Hayes. And cornerback for Arkansas State forces a loss of 5 yards.
Arkansas State plays a 4-2-5 defense. Essentially, they're in their nickel all the time, but they play press quarters. Pat Narduzzi did the same thing at Michigan State. They get a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage, and they don't blitz a lot, but they press the line of scrimmage a lot. So it gives the offense the impression they have to make plays by speeding up their clock.
Driscoll off play action, fires, and he finds Trent Taylor at the 44-yard line. It'll set up a much more makeable third down and about 3.
Javon Roland-Jones was getting pressure on Driscoll. He stands in the pocket and just throws a BB right there. There's the volume catcher, Taylor. Great route runner, and he finds those voids. He has a feel for the game.
Already a couple of catches for Taylor and 91 on his season. That was second in Conference USA. Driscoll with time, taking a shot for Taylor. Over the top, he's got it inside the 15.
We just saw Trent Taylor from the slot position run an open route inside. This time he fakes inside and goes over the top of Money Hunter, number 27, and runs the inside vertical route. He's an inside receiver, but in the end he releases to the fade. Very well ran route by Taylor, but a well thrown ball by Jeff Driscoll.
Gets 45 on 3rd and 3. We've seen a 53-yard catch from Carlos Henderson, who immediately had to leave the game due to an injury after that catch. And now a 45-yarder sets up 1st and 10 at the Red Wolf 11. Dixon. Watch the way he runs as this night goes on. Todd McShay got in touch with us today, and he said he's the number 3 running back in terms of NFL prospects, currently behind Ezekiel Elliott and Derrick Henry, the Heisman Trophy winner. He's over 1,000 yards on the season, first Bulldog to do it in 3 seasons.
He really has everything the next level wants. He has power, he's elusive. When his ankle's good, he has good lateral speed and quickness as well. He catches the ball, he protects your quarterback. What else do you want?
Whistle and a penalty marker for a false start from the far side.
False start. Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's the tight end, Josh Gaston, who got called for it. Dixon is from Strong, Arkansas. He actually had an offer to go play at Arkansas State, but opted to go to Louisiana Tech, and he has turned himself into a high-level NFL prospect. You know all the other names. You know Ezekiel Elliott. You know Henry. Devontae Booker played for Utah earlier today. CJ Prosise is going to come back for the Fiesta Bowl. Maybe Kenneth Dixon is the name that you didn't know. You should know this guy because in late April, he's getting his name called in Chicago. 2nd and 12. Driscoll to the end zone. Touchdown Taylor. Touchdown Tech. The turnover by 1, and Louisiana Tech cashes in. A couple of big plays for Trent Taylor on that drive, and Jeff Driscoll stays hot.
Trent Taylor runs inside and catches the ball. He runs to the vertical fade route outside from an inside position. And then this was pretty easy. That was a corner route, and it was a nice route, but there was zero coverage by Arkansas State.
Barnes adds the extra point. Remember, Arkansas State leads the country in interceptions. They lead the country in takeaways, but they have a tendency to give up some big plays. They gave up the long one to Taylor and the touchdown to Taylor, and it's a 17.
Wisconsin, that's a really kind of pro-style matchup that we'll get to see in person in a few days.
J.D. McKissick, who had to exit the last Arkansas State offensive series, is back to return this kick. And he'll take it out from 2 yards deep. McKissick brought down at the 17-yard line. Doc, you have an update for us on some injuries as well.
Yeah, we just talked about J.D. McKissick coming back. He was not concussed, by the way. His injury was an injury to his left collarbone where it meets the sternum. There's a joint right there. He had some bruising when he was running the football, and that's why they were checking. But as far as Michael Gordon's concerned, brace on the left knee. He wants to go back in the game, limping around. The doctors tell me, though, it's very doubtful he'll be able to go back and play tonight.
Doc, thanks so much. There is Gordon. That's got to be a disappointment right now for Arkansas State. And Gordon, the senior from Camden, Mississippi, he was closing in on second place all time on the rushing touchdown charts. He was closing in on 3,000 career yards. And now he's got to watch from the sidelines after a late penalty flag was thrown. Arkansas State has to start this drive from inside its own 10 after a holding penalty. Freddie Knighton keeping it on the edge and run out of bounds. He wanted a penalty flag on that play, and he's going to get one after a Darius Barnes ran him out late.
The zone read, Knighton gets outside, and Knighton is going to have to be that explosive element. Without Gordon in the backfield, he's going to have to be the guy that gets those big chunk yards in that run game.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 9, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Called Vernon Butler for unnecessary roughness on the play. I'm pretty sure it was 21. Yeah, they called 9 perhaps because that's the quarterback's number. That's a clear penalty on Darius Barnes. All that being said, they'll spot the football at the 34-yard line. And you're right, Kelly. Knighton is a very good runner. He's got around 1,600 rushing yards in his career as well. Handles a bad snap. Throws it late underneath for Wand. And he gets hit hard by the Mike linebacker, and a very good one in Nick Thomason. The redshirt senior out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, stops him after a gain of 9. And here comes the Arkansas State tempo. Zone read, give to Juan, first down to the 46. 75 plays a game. That's kind of typical for Blake Anderson. That's been around the pace since he's been the head coach at Arkansas State.
Yeah, and they certainly want to go as fast as the officials will let them go, but you have to execute to go fast, and we haven't seen a lot of high-quality execution out of Arkansas State early in this one.
Knighton under pressure, just floating one away. And he was able to sling one out of bounds. Is this going to be a grounding penalty? Have to be out of the pocket and get it past the line of scrimmage. I think he got it past the line of scrimmage, but the question was out of the pocket or not.
He wasn't out of the pocket, I don't think. There was a receiver that was just getting into the area, although his intention certainly was to throw this football away. He's not out of the pocket. The ball's completely out of bounds. I think McKissick was actually coming into the frame, and they might have counted him as in the area.
That was a break because he was just coming in. Knighton's going to take off here into Bulldog territory and out of bounds, a couple yards shy of the line to gain. So a good run by Knighton, and his feet have been a major asset in his career and on this drive. 7 more rushing yards there for the senior from Little Rock.
When Arkansas builds their offense on is what's called RPOs, run-pass options, and in their case, with Knighton's ability to run the football, it's really a run-pass-run option. He gets to the edge and he can run it or he can throw it.
Third down and 3. Design quarterback run and straight up the gut into Thomason, but a first down for Knighton at the 42 of Louisiana Tech.
Arkansas State going with a little unbalanced to the right that time, getting guys on the line of scrimmage, getting extra hats at the point of attack.
Bringing McKissick into the backfield. Could this be a pass play? It is. Passing it back to Knighton with blockers in front. And Freddie Knighton exploding inside the 20-yard line. And a flag is thrown after the end of that play, after Bo Feet made late contact with Knighton to add some extra yardage on top of the 25 he just picked up. Kelly said it. We thought we may see a pass from J.D. McKissick. He's 2 for 3 passing the ball in his career now.
This is actually something that Doc Punch picked up on in bowl practice. But the key was J.D. McKissick didn't complete any of them in practice and put too much air into the ball. That was
During
beautiful
the play,
right there.
Holding, offense number 74, 10-yard penalty. After the play was over, personal foul.
Well, Bo Feet was going to get called for a personal foul after the Mondi holding penalty. And this was the clear late contact after Knighton had given himself up to run out of bounds.
You know, and that's the key. That's the second time that Freddie Knighton has done just that. He gives himself up and he's maybe a half a step out of bounds, and the officials are going to protect the quarterback in that situation.
Well, the way this works is you apply the penalty, the holding penalty against Mondi, then you add the 15 because it's a dead ball foul.
Yeah.
So you add 15 yards from the spot of where the ball would have been after the penalty, which would have been the 43-yard line. This is why the ball is spotted at the 28. And it's a fresh set of downs for Arkansas State. And it's another run for Freddie Knighton. And it's a tackle for Deldrick Canty after a short gain.
So the run pass option is, the first run is, in this case, J.D. McKissick outside. And then the second run is the quarterback read up inside. But when they get to the edge with Freddie Knighton, there's also a pass thrown in there as well. So there's really a triple option, with one option being a pass.
Well, another bad snap handled by Knighton. Johnston White staying on his feet and grabbed by Bryce at the 20-yard line.
Arkansas State is used to using multiple running backs. Michael Gordon is out. Johnston White has had a lot of carries, as is Warren Wan. But Wan and White are more kind of patient zone type runners. They lack some of the explosiveness that Gordon has.
Give to McKissick, block from Wan, and he does have enough for the first down to the 16-yard line. It's such an interesting offense. It's a triple option almost with a twist. Obviously, Blake Anderson's the head coach, but the offensive coordinator is Walt Bell, a fellow disciple of Larry Fedora. Earlier today, it was reported that he will be leaving Arkansas State to join DJ Durkin's staff at Maryland as the offensive coordinator. Knighton running out of time and slings it to the feet of Wan, didn't complete. And it's second down and 10. Durkin, of course, was at Florida last year. Jeff Driscoll knows him well. He was the defensive coordinator last season in Will Muschamp's final year. And now Blake Anderson is going to have to find a new offensive coordinator, although he does have Glenn Ellerby, a co-offensive coordinator, on this staff right now. But that's a big loss in the coaching staff. Five in the pattern, and it's a designed run for Knighton. He gets stuffed by Tyler Porter. Third down as we check in with the doc.
Yeah, I talked with Walt Bell about the opportunity to take the job at Maryland as the offensive coordinator. He said Larry Fedora, the head coach he coached under at North Carolina, is the one that really recommended him for DJ Durkin. And when Durkin called Blake Anderson, Blake said, when you meet this young man, when you meet Walt Bell, you're going to want to hire him. They interviewed him, and last night at 11:30 p.m., Walt said he accepted the job.
He also told Joe Schad earlier today that he's focused on this game, but then he's going to focus on the Terps offense after. Blitz on Knighton. He finds Wan. Wan's got the first down, and it's first and goal for Arkansas State. Somehow slithering through traffic for 17 yards.
Kentrell Bryce was coming on the blitz and getting after the quarterback right there, and Knighton retreats just a little bit to get that ball to Wan. That was a narrow window, wasn't it?
That was a tight spot to deliver that ball on a sidearm sling.
I told you, Knighton is athletic, if nothing else.
Give to Wan, and the freshman lunging forward for a touchdown. Fifth touchdown for the freshman from Edmond, Oklahoma. He gets Arkansas State's first 6 of the game.
This is, I think, Juan's strong suit. He's patient and he's powerful up inside. He's listed at 5'5", 175. You lose the guy behind big offensive linemen and then the leg drive. And was that right knee down before that ball crossed the line of scrimmage? That was close.
Waiting to see if Mike Simcheski, our replay official, wants to buzz down and take a further look at it. Every scoring play is reviewed. Looks like Houston will kick away. And it's the first touchdown drive for Arkansas State. Warren Wand, this coaching staff told us we're better when he's on the field. He's had a great freshman season, and he gets Arkansas State back within 7. Consecutive bowl appearance for just the second time in program history. You got to go back to the late 70s, the only other time they went to bowls in back-to-back seasons. Boston Scott from the 2-yard line. And Scott tripped up. He'll fall at the 19-yard line. Doc, Jeff Driscoll has had quite the journey to get to Louisiana Tech.
Indeed he has. You know, no one understands and appreciates second chances better than him. Back in 2011, folks, he was the top high school recruit in the nation and opted to go to Florida. But after 4 years of frustration, including 3 different offensive coordinators, he wanted to get his degree and transfer for the final year. Ironically, the low point of him as a Gator came right here in New Orleans, the 2013 Sugar Bowl, where he threw 2 interceptions, including the opening possession of the game, and the third-ranked Gators were upset. But here's the best news. He moves to Louisiana Tech, and his numbers this year better than all 4 years at Florida. Certainly redemption for this young man.
And he gives to Dixon on first down. He gets grabbed immediately by Austin Copeland after a yard. And Doc mentioned it, the frustration of having to basically, Kelly, you called it learning 4 different languages in 5 different seasons, basically. You see the numbers in the Sugar Bowl the last time he was on this field. Already a good start for him tonight. What a transition that this young man has made, now a redshirt senior. Under pressure, flag is thrown, and Driscoll will weave his way past the 30. It'll be a first down, but pending the penalty, of course.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 75, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Darryl Brown got called for the penalty. Kelly, this is what we were referring to. I mean, you've learned offenses your entire college, high school, professional career. How difficult is this to go from guy to guy to guy to language to language to language?
Yeah, that's what it really is. It's a system, but it's really a new language every time you learn what someone else wants to do. And quite frankly, it didn't start well. With Charlie Weiss's system, it didn't fit what Jeff Driscoll likes to do anyway and is good at. So I applaud that young man, and very well told by Doc Ponch on the sideline.
Driscoll under pressure, incomplete. 3rd and 19, more to Doc.
When I talked to Jeff Driscoll yesterday, he was so thankful because you saw the low point in his career as a Gator here in the Sugar Bowl on this field, the 2 picks and the disappointing, the upset loss. He gets to play his final game as a college quarterback on this very field in this stadium, so he can have a memory, a good memory that he will never forget. He said, it's amazing how life works. I do get a second chance and a memory in the Superdome.
Yeah, you got to love that in college football for sure. And the way that young man has handled it every step of the way. He's very humble, and he's been very gracious. Nothing bad to say about his 4 years at Ford at all.
Driscoll over the middle, and it's overthrown for Taylor. That personal foul penalty against Darryl Brown kind of takes the wind out of the sails for Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, Taylor was going down on a seam route in the middle of the field, but watch the depth by Kyrie Lane right there. It forces a throw a little bit higher in that narrow window right there. Jeff Driscoll certainly thought he should have had it anyway, and I would agree with that. It was a throw that he should have made, but it was a tight window nonetheless.
Second 3 and out for Louisiana Tech, so Gerald Schaus punts away. Under pressure, was able to drill one. Blaze Taylor lost the football, recovered it, And he's brought down at the 42-yard line. Good coverage by Louisiana Tech. Aaron Robertson has been around the ball tonight. Arkansas State goes back to work. Decent field position from their own 41-yard line, and Johnston White buried. Good play by Cedric Cooper. Robertson and Cooper, a couple of underclassmen defensive backs, have been right around the ball tonight.
Yeah, and I think that is exactly what they had to do, because Arkansas State wants to run to the edges and try to avoid number 9 right there, Vernon Butler. He's a menace inside, and so they wanted to run to the edges and match up their wide receivers on the corners and verticals on the edges. And Louisiana Tech just hasn't let him outside much at all.
Here's Juan, has a hole, and a shift gets him the first down into Louisiana Tech territory before Cleveland brought him down a dozen on the run.
I like Juan, man. He has some giddy up, doesn't he?
Yep.
5'5", $175, runs low to the ground. He's pretty patient, but he has more speed to the edge than I thought he had.
Knighton with time. Now the pocket beginning to collapse. Gets rid of the football as he was being brought down, and Leaphart tried to make a play out of it. Vontarius Dora, the redshirt senior, who's second behind Jalen Ferguson in sacks, had him around the waist.
And Dora gets the pressure, and you can see Vernon Butler from inside as well. But Leaphart did a great job of breaking off his route and scrambling down the sideline to try to give Freddie Knighton a target to throw to.
Riding that zone read, the cut by Juan turns into a good run. Vernon Butler is there for the stop. It'll be third down, about 6 to go here as we duck inside of 5 to play for the half.
That's why I think the NFL will love Vernon Butler. He's a 3-technique type of guy. He's almost 320 pounds.
Yeah.
But you see his movement to the edges. He just ran the running back down out on the sideline.
A lot of muscle in that 320
Absolutely.
pounds.
And he moves so well. In pass downs, they'll move him around to create a mismatch inside.
3rd and 6. Knighton taken off. A lot of space to cover, and he got brought down by feet. A 3 yard shy of the line to gain. Arkansas State is inside the opponent's 45-yard line. This is kind of like no man's land for them right now with 4th and short, but it looks like the punt unit's coming out.
Looks like they're going to punt it. And Walt Bell did tell us that a lot of times when they're past the 50, their 3rd down call is to get in 4th and manageable, and I thought they might be thinking of that right there.
Trent Taylor nearly muffed a punt earlier in this game, but was able to recover it. Timeout here from Blake Anderson. We'll step aside as well. Maybe Blake Anderson rather wants to think about this a little bit further. 4th and 3. 3.5 to play in the second. Arkansas State called timeout after 4th and 3. Now Luke Ferguson, the punter, is 1 for 1 passing the football in his career. Had a 24-yard pass complete against Tennessee last year. And he will indeed try to keep this one short. He'll pin it inside the 20-yard line, which he's done 41% of the time in his career. So Louisiana Tech takes over at the 15-yard line. Again, we've talked a little bit about this running back. We're trying to give you a sense of who Kenneth Dixon is. My man Ricky Williams sitting in studio. You're going to hear from him during our Coke Zero halftime. You see, he put up 75 scores.
List.
This is a pretty decent list, and Kenneth Dixon with a chance tonight to tie or even pass Keenan Reynolds, who still has a bowl game going later on this season.
Well, Kenneth Dixon does almost everything well on the football field. He's a powerful guy. He's elusive, lateral speed. He moves side to side, and he also is a very good pass protector and catches the football well.
He's in on pass protection here. Keeps it open for Driscoll. Taking a shot downfield, and it's incomplete for Gaines. The sophomore trying to beat Cody Brown down the field. Driscoll tried to beat him over the top. 2nd down.
And Marcus Gaines stumbles a little bit. Right here, slight roll to one side, change the launching point, all the while throwing the post back to the backside. And if number 16, Marcus Gaines, does not stumble, that drops right in his shirt pocket, probably for a touchdown.
Arkansas native, as we told you. Kenneth Dixon in the backfield on 2nd down and 10. And a whistle.
Timeout. Arkansas State. Their 3rd and final. 30 seconds.
Last time out for Arkansas State as Cody Brown limps around a little bit. We showed you Kenneth Dixon started playing football in the 3rd grade, as a lot of these young men did, and he's developed into quite the running back. Doc has more.
Absolutely, no ordinary running back, but he also, during the year, he had no ordinary ankle sprain. Now, normally when you sprain an ankle, you roll it. When you turn the ankle in, what happened to him was he had an eversion sprain on the inside of the ankle. There's a couple of big ligaments called the deltoid ligaments. They're much stronger than the normal ankle ligaments, and it takes a lot longer to heal. Normally you're talking 6 or 7 weeks. He was out for UT San Antonio at Mississippi State 2 weeks, and then he came back. The young man wasn't 100%, but prior to the bowl game, a lot of rehab, a lot of work, and he's as close to 100% tonight as he has been this year. And just to show you how tough he is, 2 weeks was something that would take most running backs a month and a half to get back from.
Well, and Doc, this offense for Louisiana Tech is simply much different when number 28 is healthy. There is no doubt about that.
They give to Dixon. He's got a pulling block from Jens Danielson, and he's got the 1st down to the 26-yard line. Again, the last 2 games of the season, Louisiana Tech struggled. They put up 2 of their lowest scoring totals of the season against UTEP and against Southern Miss in the de facto Conference USA West title game, and Dixon only totaled 35 rushing yards in those 2 games. Dixon into pass protect this time, and it's caught by Turner. The former LSU Tiger is driven out by Copeland, shy of the 35-yard line.
You know, and Adam, you mentioned there's actually a flag on the field that came in way late, and I think they're going to get Dixon. At least he's the one arguing about the flag, but the UTEP game and the Southern Miss game just did not follow the profile of this team. They didn't play well in either game.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 28. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
Well, that's a tough call against Dixon, the personal foul penalty.
Wow. If Dixon was in pass protection, he's going to slide across and hit the blitzer. Oh, my goodness.
That is a – oh, there it is. Okay, I was going to say, it wasn't the block. That was the call when he jumped on top of the defender.
You want to finish a play, but that's not it right there. It was terrific before he body slammed him at the very end. But that's also what the NFL will like about Kenneth Dixon. He is a tenacious pass protector.
So the personal foul penalty sets him back up at 2nd and 17. Quarterback, or design draw here, I should say. And it's Boston Scott taking it to the 25. It'll be 3rd down, about 11 here. Jared Kraft is another backup running back who is unavailable tonight. He is out with a knee injury. Louisiana Tech really did suffer in losing some backups that created some depth for this team.
And if you're Jeff Driscoll, you certainly want to be patient in that down and distance right there. You do not want to give Arkansas State anything cheap right here.
This little bit of that radar defense. Nobody with their hand down, and the pressure coming on Driscoll from Chase Robinson. Good job to penetrate by the Red Wolves up front, forcing Driscoll into a tough spot.
You talked about it. What Arkansas State likes to do in passing situations, they stand up and move around, try to create a little chaos in the blocking scheme. But at the end of the day, Jeff Driscoll makes a really good decision. You don't want to throw into coverage right there. Just go ahead and throw the football out of bounds and let your punter create some field position.
So this is going to be important for Gerald Schaus as he kicks to a good return man in Blaze Taylor, trying to flip the field. Taylor will field it at the 34. And there goes Blaze Taylor. And Schaus runs him out of bounds. The sophomore from Auburn, Alabama, with an excellent return. And Arkansas State in position to tie this game late in the half.
Blaze Taylor makes a great decision right there. The short punt, it bounced up right to him, and you could literally see guys in the return game waving him over to the wall, and Blaze Taylor gets there and makes a big play for his football team right there.
The son of Trooper Taylor, one of the assistant coaches, his cornerback coach, and his father on this team. Taylor, a couple of weeks, or I should say a couple of games ago, had his second career punt return for a touchdown against New Mexico State, and he sets him up at the 25-yard line. Knighton looking downfield, and a flag will be thrown. Trez Houston was getting separation on a Darius Barnes. You saw the stumble in the flag.
Holding. Defense number 21. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I think Barnes actually made a pretty good decision. He was going to get beat deep and probably for a touchdown by Trez Houston. And it was just grab of the left arm on the left shoulder of Houston.
It looked like a pretty early hold, and that's why you called it a holding penalty, not a pass interference call. It was before the pass was released. You got the sense he knew early he was going to get beat. From the 15-yard line, White running into his own lineman in Colton Jackson, and then gets run down by C.J. Cleveland for a loss of about a yard. Arkansas State does not have any timeouts, but they're in good position here to try to tie this game with 70 ticks to go.
You would think getting Freddie Knighton out onto the edge once again in that run, pass, run option type of play call.
Knighton delivers on target. Inside the 5 goes McKissick. It'll be first down and goal at the 3.
I think McKnighton is underrated as a passer, as we see McKissick limping off once again. But when Freddie McKnighton sets his feet and throws the ball, he's pretty darn efficient.
They have to bring on another player here in Stowers. You have to let the defense substitute as well, and the clock is ticking away down to 40 seconds. First down and goal. Here is Juan, slithering forward. He is stopped shy. 27 seconds and counting. No timeouts for Arkansas State. And Louisiana Tech looked like they signaled for a timeout.
Louisiana Tech.
Wow.
Their first. 30 seconds.
What a break for Arkansas State right there.
I am very surprised that you would allow Arkansas State, with the clock moving, their running back trying to get out of a pile, set up a play, call one of their 3 remaining timeouts right there.
And the only reason that Freddie Knighton did not hurry up the play before is because J.D. McKissick was limping off the field.
And then you have to let the defense substitute.
So you have to let the defense get in there, and that took time off the clock. It would be interesting to see if Doc can get an explanation right there for why Louisiana Tech would elect to call a timeout in that situation.
A little bit surprising there. And I wonder, the way Skip Holtz is talking, we're not reading lips, nor do we really have that ability, but he almost seemed like he didn't want that timeout called, and perhaps somebody from the bench did it. Unless he wants to get the ball back with only seconds remaining in this half. Very surprised at that call. Knighton being chased by Dora. And Knighton is going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Somehow found a window and got in to score. The punt return from Taylor set him up, and Knighton caps it off.
When you get Freddie Knighton to the edge, typically good things happen for Arkansas State offensively. He's a tremendous athlete that's still learning how to play the quarterback position, and when he can get out in open spaces, he's a very dynamic runner of the football and fearless as well. Watch the contact as he gives up his body and gets into the end zone. Tremendous play by Freddie Knighton.
Houston adds the extra point. That is the 21st career rushing touchdown for Freddie Knighton. We talked about his athleticism. It has been on full display on his runs tonight. 51 rushing yards in that score. You know, I think
this game, you're going to find some plays out there.
Can't wait to watch Aaron Burbridge against that Alabama defense coming up in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Here is Blake Martin on the return, trying to set it up for something late for Louisiana Tech. Good job by Quantario Heath in special teams running Martin out of bounds. And with 11 seconds to play, we'll see if Jeff Driscoll will take a knee and be happy with a tie game.
Yeah, I think Jeff Driscoll is going to be very happy with his first half. He played really well. You can see right there. I mean, a great start in the Sugar Bowl in 2013, and he's already surpassed it in a lot of ways. This young man has grown up, and his family can be very, very proud of him.
Former Florida Gator, transfers to Louisiana Tech and wins Conference USA Newcomer of the Year. And he is looking to pass. He finds Turner, seconds remaining, and there goes Turner. And Paul Turner, with time ticking away, will go down shy of the 10-yard line. He almost went the distance as the seconds ticked away. Now we know maybe why Skip Holtz called a timeout. He wanted to give this offense a shot, and he went 71 yards, but not enough.
Yeah, how about a check down that almost goes the distance? And Paul Turner is a speed guy that transferred from LSU, and he almost took that safe pass to the house.
Incredible. Chris Humes caught up to him.
Right there on what literally could have been a shoelace tackle.
Yep.
That's the definition of it right there.
He needed 12 more yards. The play was saved by Humes. We'll have an interview with Doc Punch coming up in a couple of moments. Our Coke Zero halftime report, you'll hear from Skip Holtz. Right now you hear from Chris Cotter, Danny Cannell, my man Ricky Williams. We had everything in this half, guys. It's all yours. Start the third quarter. Jonathan Barnes will kick away to Blaze Taylor and Chris Murray. Again, J.D. McKissick has been banged up a little bit in this game, so he's not back returning kicks. Blaze Taylor has not returned a ton of kicks in his young career. But here he goes. A very good punt returner. Gets brought down by Xavier Woods, shy of the 35-yard line as we check in with Doc Punch.
Talking to Blake Anderson, he said, what else could happen to us in the first half? Turnovers, injuries, penalties. He said, you know, one of our all-time leading receivers and leading receptions, he's in X-ray right now, J.D. McKissick. And Michael Gordon, one of our great running backs, will not play the rest of the night. I said, what did you say to your team at halftime? So I walked up to them. They knew what was going on with our injuries. I said, guys, we got them right where we want them. 3 times this year we've been behind in the first half. We're not behind now. We're even. We got them right where we want them here for the second half.
A confident Blake Anderson in his second season as the head coach and a confident quarterback in Freddie Knighton going to work. But the freshman Warren Wand ends up falling down and losing 3 yards to start the second half.
Yeah, and Warren Wand is going to get more of a workload in this second half, but Freddie Knighton is going to have to be the explosiveness that they lose in Michael Gordon. Michael Gordon was the complete back in that group of running backs that plays a lot of downs for this offense.
Yeah, he's the veteran as well on this team, so they're going to lean on a freshman and a redshirt sophomore in the backfield. Here's the freshman Juan, and it's going to be third down and long coming up. Aaron Brown in the mix up the middle for Louisiana Tech. That's where their strength is defensively. Defensive tackle, middle linebacker, and safety.
And where Arkansas State's strength is not, is throwing when they have to, and 3rd and 11 is typically a throwdown. This isn't Arkansas State's strong suit.
A late blitz on Knighton, but it's the initial pressure from Vontarius Dora that gets to Freddie Knighton to make it a 3 and out. Sack number 6 for Dora this year.
And Dora was coming up inside, matched up one-on-one, but the pressure outside by Nick Thomason as well. And they were going to meet at the quarterback, but Dora had him beat all along, but there was extra pressure by the added linebacker out on the edge.
So Luke Ferguson will kick away with Trent Taylor back to return. This will still give decent field position to Louisiana Tech and Jeff Driscoll at the 39-yard line. And Doc, Jeff had some options as to where he was going to go for his 5th year. Why Louisiana Tech?
Exactly, Adam. He was sitting at home with his mom in Oviedo, Florida, and Louisiana Tech was one of them he was thinking about. He's watching the Conference USA Championship game. Late in the game, Louisiana Tech is driving. Cody Sokol throws an interception with a minute to go. He watches Cody come to the sideline, waiting to see if the head coach, Skip Holtz, is going to point the finger or yell at him. Here's what happened. Holtz put his arm around him, gave him a hug, and said, "Son, not your fault. You've won a lot of games for us. We'll be fine." He said, he turned to his mom and said, "That's where I'm going to go play for a coach who worries about players and not plays."
What an incredible story. Driscoll on first down. Throwing to the outside for Turner, who had that incredible play at the end of the first half. Nearly ended up with a long touchdown in the final seconds. Gets a good gain on first down. Jeff Driscoll, 16-5 as a starter at Florida, and they talked about him in Gainesville sometimes. Some vitriol was spit at Jeff Driscoll considering the solid record that he came out with. He's going to keep it here, try to pick up the short yardage, and does. And slides down at the 45 for a first down.
Yeah, and it's amazing the different look in a quarterback when someone believes in him and takes care of him. And that's exactly what has happened with Skip Holtz with Jeff Driscoll here. His confidence has been restored. His skill set has been activated in a sense, and that's what we've seen all year. When I turned on the tape to study him for this game, I was amazed, but this is what I expected about 3 years ago out of this young man. That's how talented he is.
Fresh set of downs from the Arkansas State 45. In that same 3-by-1 look, he finds Taylor in the set of 3. He gets wrapped up by Woodson Luster and brought down after a short gain. Going to bring up second down and 8 for Louisiana Tech. When Driscoll came in, basically the offensive staff gave him the game plan for the first game of the season, said highlight what you like, take out what you're not comfortable with yet. They did that for the first couple of games of the season. And the playbook kept expanding and expanding and expanding. And Tony Peterson, the quarterback coach, and Skip Holtz, who also calls the plays as the head coach, found the system that Jeff Driscoll liked, and they've stuck with it.
Yeah, a great job of getting the most out of this young man for the year that they've had him.
Driscoll looking for Taylor downfield. He's not there. A great twisting catch is made by Connor Smith, who's only playing in his 3rd game of the season due to a long-standing ankle injury, his 2nd catch of the year.
And watch the pump fake outside, and then Connor Smith is going to have to reach behind him right there. And you see why Driscoll had to throw it behind him, because there was coverage underneath. The linebacker, Austin Copeland, was going to break on that football if it was out in front of the receiver. You hope the quarterback and receiver are on the same page, and they were right there.
Pressure off the edge from Robinson. Driscoll looking downfield. Back-to-back plays for Connor Smith. This time it's 21 yards. The guy had made one grab for 5 yards in 2 games all year. He's had 40 yards on the last 2 catches, and it's 1st and goal. Driscoll looking left. Now dumping it off for Smith, and he got chopped down by Hayes in the open field.
Driscoll was going to try to catch Arkansas State substituting. The offense didn't substitute, so they can go as fast as they want, and they almost caught themselves. 3rd straight catch for Connor Smith, a big target. He's 6'3", over 200 pounds, and Jeff Driscoll is finding him on this drive.
Smith is now off. They'll go 4 receivers here with Dixon in the backfield. Pressure from the Red Wolves. Driscoll to the corner and overthrown. 3rd down and goal. He was looking for Cam McKnight, the redshirt freshman, who will celebrate his 21st birthday coming up on Tuesday. Again, a redshirt freshman who's about to turn 21. He redshirted last year, but he could not play as a senior in high school at East Feliciana because Louisiana has an age limit. He was already 19 by the time his senior year of high school started. So he's an older redshirt freshman.
Keep an eye on Trent Taylor right there. Look for Driscoll to get out on the edge and work at number 5.
Driscoll with time and incomplete for Turner. And I believe there might have been some miscommunication because immediately Driscoll goes over to talk to Turner.
Yeah, and Turner was the single receiver in a 3-by-1 set, and I circled Trent Taylor on the slot side and the 3 wide receiver set, and what I think the quarterback Driscoll was wanting Turner to do is cross the face of the defender and keep coming inside, and he didn't do it quickly enough for his quarterback's liking.
So Jonathan Barnes will have a 20-yard chip shot from a tough angle. He tied his career long and tied a New Orleans Bowl record with that 50-yarder in the first half. This 20-yarder makes it a 3-point Bulldog lead. Jeff Driscoll has continued to do it so far today, but that last play, some confusion with his redshirt senior receiver. They settled for where he came in.
Once you see that defender in there, you have to turn and pivot back out, and Turner was just late in doing that.
Couple of good returns, one punt return and one kick return for Taylor, but he'll take a knee. Next up, during Capital One Bowl Mania, we'll take you to Marlins Park for the Miami Beach Bowl. Western Kentucky, the Conference USA champion. You'll see their outstanding quarterback, Brandon Doughty, the two-time Conference USA Player of the Year. And Willie Taggart, the former head coach at Western Kentucky, now at South Florida. They'll square off in the Miami Beach Bowl, 2:30 Eastern time on ESPN Monday. And if it's anything like the bowl games we've seen so far today, 4 of the 5 finals have been one-possession games. We've got a close one right now here in New Orleans, as Arkansas State starts this drive with a Warren Wand run. And a flag is thrown on the near sideline as he took it to the 28.
So many times when the run is that far to the sideline, those guys out on the edge get called for holding.
Holding. Offense, number 15. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Trez Houston, the receiver, got tagged for it.
And he was the wide receiver out wide on that side, and they have to hold their block so long. And there's really an art in holding early and then letting go late. When the ball gets into your neighborhood, you simply have to understand that eyes are going to be on you at that point, and you have to take your hands inside.
So first down and 19. Wand again. Good patient running, and Wand bursts through, picks up all that penalty yardage back and more, and gets all the way out for a first down to the 35-yard line.
The stretch zone play outside is what Wand does extremely well. Even though he's a young player, he's very patient already, almost naturally patient. And you could see it on that play.
Colton Jackson, the first-team conference selection in the Sun Belt, their most experienced offensive line on a very thin offensive line right now, is down. He'll be tended to as we step aside. That's the region of wine that you like, not that particular bottle, I guess. Okay, I see what you're saying. Adam Amin, Kelly Stauffer, Dr. Jerry Punch, our fantastic crew in the Superdome in New Orleans. Been a wild game so far. Knighton under pressure. Taking a shot downfield, and he's got Houston. First down to the 37-yard line in Louisiana Tech territory. And a flag is thrown as Xavier Woods and Trez Houston start jawing after the play. Longest play offensively for Blake Anderson's normally explosive offense. 28 yards. Houston, who's got 10 touchdowns this year on the receiving end.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Trez Houston is going to run a deep over route, but it's about the elusiveness in the pocket, the footwork by Freddie Knighton, and then finally Houston comes into the picture, but it's that extra push right there that gets Xavier Woods in trouble. You simply can't do that and give the offense 15 yards that they did not earn.
We'll spot him at the 22-yard line. Houston, the junior college transfer, in his final collegiate football game. First big play over 20 yards today. They had that 19-yard run on this drive from Juan. That 28-yard play, which turns into a 43-yarder with the penalty yardage.
Freddie Knighton is a much better passer than advertised. I'll tell you that right now.
Johnston White chopped down by Vontarius Dora. Another guy who was offered by Arkansas State out of high school. Dora ends up going to Louisiana Tech. He's going to play in the NFLPA Bowl coming up on January the 23rd with a couple of his Louisiana Tech teammates. You can see that on ESPN2 in about a month. sees that pressure off the edge. He's going to roll away from it. And toss it away. Jalen Ferguson was charging in on Knighton, that outstanding redshirt freshman All-American. And that pressure off the backside was coming in for Louisiana Tech from Cooper, too.
Well, you called it, partner. There's pressure off the edge by Cooper. And then Knighton just simply rolls away from it. Juan is his personal protector, but at the end of the day, Ferguson, with his speed, gets his helmet right upside the face mask of Freddie Knighton.
Can this line protect Knighton? Colton Jackson is back out there. He was banged up a little bit earlier on this drive. He's back out at right guard. Just a four-man rush, which gets to Knighton. Thomason chasing him, and a tough throw flung out of bounds as Thomason put Knighton on his back. Fourth down.
And Knighton had what he wanted outside. The safety had rolled down to the middle because pressure was coming. It was man-to-man outside, but Knighton was getting too much pressure to stand in the pocket and see it.
So that'll bring J.D. Houston out. He's hit from 36 today. His career long is 42. This is within his range at 37. Junior college transfer from Mississippi. And started 9 of 9. He's 2 for his last 4. Nice kick. Tie game. 8:17 to play, third quarter. They've all been tight today. We've got another tight one in the bowl game. Full of times as well in the coaching capacity. And his 4th trip to the Superdome as a coach. Boston Scott slowly working his way, trying to find a hole. Nothing much there. Works past the 15-yard line. Jeff Driscoll has played very well today. Skip Holtz manning the offense as well. Of course, he won a couple of Sugar Bowls as an assistant coach in 1989 under Bobby Bowden at Florida State when they beat Auburn, under his dad in 1992 when they beat Florida. Came back to the Superdome as a head coach at East Carolina in 2008 against a very good Tulane team when they were still playing their games at the Superdome. So both coaches have connections to this area. There's Dixon. Picks up a couple of yards on the play. Skip Holtz was actually born, or I should say was actually raised in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Remember, Lou was the head coach at Arkansas when Skip was born, so he actually went through grade school and high school in Fayetteville, Arkansas. He had to take the Rudy route, as he calls it, although he did it first. Had to go to junior college at Holy Cross to get his grades up, then went to Notre Dame as a receiver to play for his father. He overlapped 1 year. Lou's first year was Skip's last year at Notre Dame. And then he started his coaching career under Bobby Bowden at Florida State. Dixon again, and brought down again by Javon Roland Jones. That'll be third down coming up. Of course, here are some lasting images of Lou and Skip, and they've coached together in multiple places. Of course, the long run at Notre Dame, when Skip had finished up his tenure as UConn head coach, ended up at South Carolina under his dad, Lou Holtz, as well. Lou Holtz is in the building tonight. Just a 3-man rush on 3rd down and 7. And Driscoll will tiptoe out of bounds with a penalty marker thrown. There is Lou. Great to see our old colleague. He's not really in retirement, so to speak, because
no
he's still
such thing for Lou.
Not for Lou. He's still doing radio, still does the speech circuit, spending time with Beth now. Skip's mom, of course.
This penalty is going to be on Money Hunter. He was actually matched up on Trent Taylor, which is where Driscoll wanted to throw the football. Taylor coming out of the slot, and Money Hunter basically hog-tied him and threw him to the ground and got called for the holding penalty.
Well, fresh set of downs for Louisiana Tech. Starting over from the 29. Driscoll. Nothing downfield, but a lot of green in front of him. Trying to work past Woodson, Luster, and does for a first down run across the 40.
At 6'4", 230 plus pounds, the play action passing game, and then it's the avoidance. Remember, this young man is a really good athlete. He's learning how to be a pro style passer, doing a very good job in his decision making, getting through his progression. But that's something that young man has had from the beginning, is the ability to avoid and make plays outside the pocket.
Dixon, he's been bottled up the last couple of times. Austin Copeland and Chooks Ota in the tackle. Seen a handful of field goals in this game so far. We're celebrating the 11th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds.
Louisiana Tech is going to have to make some plays in the passing game. Arkansas State is loading up against Dixon. Driscoll's going to have to make some plays.
Extended the play with his feet, and he's got Dixon. There goes Kenneth Dixon. A big pull Turner block. Let Dixon take it to the house for 58 yards and a go-ahead touchdown. And Dixon limping a little bit after the play after his second reception for a touchdown, which ties Keenan Reynolds for the most in FBS history. Total touchdowns scored.
And all of that play was outside of the design of the original play. No doubt about it. And Jeff Driscoll actually waved Dixon down the sideline after Driscoll broke contain and then threw a very good ball to a running back streaking down the edge.
Barnes adds the extra point. And again, Dixon is banged up after the play. Obviously, he's been nursing that ankle issue most of the season.
Yeah, Dixon's been banged up for about 5 weeks. But the quarterback waves him down the field, and Dixon hauls it in. And I don't know that there was a whole lot there as far as where we could tell that ankle got hurt. Remember, he's been nursing that for quite some time, and right now they're actually looking at the outside of that right knee.
And we'll check in on Dixon in a few moments, see how he's feeling. This is what he has done. He has now tied Keenan Reynolds for the most touchdowns scored. That's rushing and receiving touchdowns, the most touchdowns scored in FBS history with 85. Now again, Keenan Reynolds still does have that bowl game, the military bowl game against Pitt, against a very tough defense, Pat Narduzzi's club. But
yeah, Dixon's going to have to pad his lead a little bit because Reynolds isn't finished.
plays Taylor a couple yards deep. Taylor trying to get to the edge, slips a tackle, breaks another, and steps out of bounds. Another solid return by Taylor. And he'll set up Arkansas State with decent field position. So here we go, 15th Sunday back for the NFL in this particular class. He is getting checked out on the sideline. Here is Juan on first down. Got grabbed by Thomason and a good tackle. Otherwise, Juan would have exploded away for more than just the 8 he picked up there.
And it's the stretch read to the edge where Juan is going out wide, and then Knighton is just actually going to read and potentially take it up the middle. We haven't seen him keep the football lately. We'll look for it right here.
Here is Juan. He's got the first down to the 44-yard line. Warren Juan having to take over a much bigger workload with the injury to Gordon and McKissick being banged up as well. And now this is the second time in this quarter that the outstanding lineman Colton Jackson is down on the ground. He looks to be banged up here. Again, this is such a thin offensive line.
No
they already lost Jamar Clark a couple of games ago, their outstanding left tackle. So Kyle Harris has to take over there. Daniel Keith has to basically back up everybody in the offensive line, and Jackson is down again. For more, we check in with Doc Punch.
Yeah, when Jackson went down a moment ago, I went over and talked to the doctors. He's battling a significant hamstring injury in the back of that leg, and so he's pulled a couple of muscles. He tried to go back in the ballgame. You mentioned he was back in. He's limping, trying to push off, but now he's down. They're going to roll him over and try to get him up and take a look at that leg and see if they can stretch it out a little bit and see exactly if he may be able to get up on his own.
That's the voice of Dr. Jerry Punch, longtime physician, as well as our colleague here at ESPN.
Well, Adam, you mentioned this, that Colton Jackson is the best offensive lineman that Arkansas State has, and it's thin and thinner up front. They literally have maybe one backup. Jamal Fontenot, that is a sophomore that they would like to redshirt, is another guy that is semi-available, but they would rather not blow his red shirt here tonight. That looks worse than the first time he went off the field, no doubt.
Absolutely it does. That is tough to watch. Redshirt junior out of Ozark, Arkansas. This is a physical matchup. Two defenses in the last couple of years that have been very, very good. Arkansas State led the country in takeaways. Louisiana Tech so strong on defense up the middle. We knew this was going to be a physical type game. These two teams have met a lot. There were some brawls in the long time history. Back in the late 80s, I believe, I was talking with one of the Louisiana Tech people. They were telling me that there were some bench-clearing brawls in these types of matchups. They were Southland Conference rivals. They were Big West rivals. They played every year for about, 29 years, every single season. It's their first meeting since '98, two of the best group of 5 teams in the country. Sun Belt champ Arkansas State, Louisiana Tech out of Conference USA. Knighton for Pascal, and it is nearly intercepted by Abraham. Dejon Pascal was out there going up against the redshirt senior who's got 3 pick sixes this season.
Well, Freddie Knighton was sliding to his left as a right-handed thrower, and this ball came out of his hand like a bar of soap. It did not have much on it. It was fluttering, and he's fortunate that Bryson Abraham did not come down with that one.
Another bad snap. There have been a lot of them from Devin Mondi tonight. Knighton will try to get back towards the line of scrimmage and keep it at a 3rd and manageable. Ferguson chased him out of bounds. Yeah, Devin Mondi is the redshirt junior who had to take over at center last season for Tyler Grieve. We've seen a couple of wayward snaps tonight.
And it's been to that same side. It's been low and to the right a little bit. Usually that happens. If it happens, it's because the center is moving a little bit. He has to pull, get out front. He gets a little bit ahead of himself in the snap, but that was not Mundy's case right there.
This is that press quarters coverage for Louisiana Tech. Another low snap handled by Knighton. And that's batted into the air by Vernon Butler. And every NFL scout that's watching this guy tonight just high-fived one another. What a play by the first-team Conference USA defensive lineman.
6'3", 316 pounds, and he's very mobile. You can see him right there. He's looping around from his defensive tackle position, has the awareness of just watching the quarterback, knowing he's not going to get home, and he just reads the football and gets 2 hands on it.
Taylor back to return. Luke Ferguson looking to bang one away.
Remember, Butler is a 320-pound athlete. That's pretty impressive.
A lot of muscle on what is a frame that is likely going to be drafted on the second day of the NFL draft in April. Good punt by Ferguson, pinning Taylor at the 10-yard line. Told you Jets just beat the Cowboys, so you probably a couple of blue blood programs, and of course a recap of all the day's bowl games, all of which just about have been tight today. And we'll continue Capital One Bowl Mania on Monday with Western Kentucky and South Florida in the Miami Beach Bowl. Worst starting field position for the Bulldogs. So Driscoll goes play action and has Taylor. He's got him at the 29. Kelly, your goal when you're pinned inside your 10, your 15, get the first down. That's what the Bulldogs do.
Yeah, that's the minimum requirement is 1 first down to at least create some field position. But this is when Driscoll was at his best in the past, is moving the launch point, play action inside, roll to your right, but it's the ability to throw on the go, and Driscoll can do that very well.
100 yards receiving for Taylor today on 6 catches. He was looking for Taylor there, and he was covered by a very good linebacker, Xavier Woodson-Luster. Second down.
Yeah, Woodson-Luster did a good job of what they call squeezing down the route. Trent Taylor found a void, but then the linebacker, Woodson-Luster, squeezed to where Taylor was setting, and there was nowhere to throw that football.
Took over at that Mike linebacker spot for Q-Sean Lee, one of the toughest guys that Arkansas State has had on defense the last few years. Play action on second down. He's got Taylor over the middle. Threw behind him a little bit, but the adjustment by Taylor for his 7th catch of the day. He's got 118 yards through the air today.
Yeah, cover 2 on the back end, 2 high safeties, and all Trent Taylor had to do is get around the linebacker, number 50, Austin Copeland. You will see it right here coming inside. See, 50 didn't sniff out that route very well.
Louisiana Tech closing in on 400 passing yards, and they haven't heard a lot from Dixon lately, so he drags Waylon Roberson for 8 more rushing yards there.
Roberson may have saved a touchdown because that was a zone read up inside, and Waylon Roberson got a big mid on him and drug Dixon down.
And he drug the numbers off of his jersey.
And he needed all of what you see right there. One big right hand, or 28 standing in the end zone right now.
The equipment manager is playing taps right now for that one. Those numbers dangling off Dixon's jersey, and they'll go right back to him. He's got the first down to the 40-yard line. Let's check in with Doc Punch.
Spoke with Louisiana Tech orthopedic surgeon Andrew Moritz about Dixon. He said it is the right ankle. It's the same one that he sprained in the middle part of the year. He tweaked it on the run a little bit ago. What's bugging him a little bit, he said, but he's still back in the ballgame. Now he will limp over a little bit to the sidelines, but it should not keep him out of the game.
Dixon's problem now, Doc, is he doesn't have any numbers on the front of his jersey. Had to come out of the game anyway.
Well, Boston Scott checks into the game for him. Play action. Driscoll taking a shot, looking for Turner, and it is incomplete. Good play by Nehemiah Wagner, who's been playing that nickel kind of corner hybrid spot. He's able to challenge Turner that time.
Yeah, this is the design shot opportunity. The play action pass, and Paul Turner is one of the verticals, and that ball was a little underthrown. Jeff Driscoll threw it a little bit flat-footed. On the other side, number 16, Marcus Caines, was also going vertical. Very well covered on the back end by Arkansas State.
Remember, Arkansas State leads the nation in takeaways and interceptions this year. There goes Scott, big burst. And Boston Scott dragging defenders inside the 20-yard line. All the way down to the 16 for 24 hard-earned yards.
Very well blocked up front, Adam, by Louisiana Tech. Very thin offensive line, but very well blocked that time.
And they just opened up the longest run of Boston Scott's career. Man, Louisiana Tech has put up 504 total yards of offense, 397 through the air, over 100 on the ground after that Scott run. It's the most passing yards that this takeaway-friendly Arkansas State defense has allowed this year. End around. Going back to Driscoll from Turner, and he put too much air underneath it. And Driscoll, who took a shot from Robinson, or rather Rocky Hayes, I should say.
And Rocky Hayes actually may have led with the crown of his helmet. This was a throwback that was dead on arrival, and Rocky Hayes sniffed it out, but he may have lowered his head and hit Driscoll with the crown of his helmet, which is one of the definitions of targeting.
There's 2 axioms. We showed them to you earlier today, and all you have to do is fill one of those axioms to get charged with a targeting penalty. Leading with the crown of the helmet.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 3, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
or a defenseless receiver or a defenseless player with contact forcible above the shoulders. Now, there was no targeting penalty there. It was unnecessary roughness, so no targeting.
So if the ball is uncatchable, basically that's what
Yeah.
they're ruling. This hit was unnecessary, and it was actually a good hit fundamentally, but the ball is uncatchable, so you can't just light the receiver up. In this case, it was a throwback to the quarterback, Jeff Driscoll.
And how about this? Arkansas State, the 5th most penalized team in the country, has over 100 yards tonight.
On the field.
Here goes Dixon, and he just waltzes right in for a touchdown. There's the new record. 86 touchdowns scored in his career.
Kenneth Dixon is feeling good health-wise. It's that lateral cut ability. He has great visions, which all really good running backs do, but then it's the ability to get there in terms of lateral quickness and what you're seeing, and that was Dixon on that play.
Barnes adds the extra point, and it's a 14-point advantage. They're just ripping the name off the back of his jersey right now, too, along with the numbers.
Watch him jump outside at him right there. He sees it to his right, but you and I can see it, but we may not have the quickness to get there. Number 28 does, and basically everything's been ripped off of his jersey tonight.
Tack on another touchdown, though. A guy who missed 2 full games, was nursing an ankle injury most of the season, and still led Conference USA. Now 18 rushing touchdowns this year. The crowd has recognized what Kenneth Dixon has accomplished. They just posted it up on the scoreboard.
It's tenuous, though. That lead is tenuous.
It is. Folks, Keenan Reynolds knows how to run a triple option
No doubt.
offense, and you're going to see that in the Military Bowl.
Yeah,
Man.
Blake Anderson
Oof.
still is arguing that call, and Rocky Hayes lit Jeff Driscoll up, and then 28 right there, Kenneth Dixon was the beneficiary to carry that ball in the end zone on the next play. I think that guy with his long underwear on right there was Channing Dixon, and rightly so. Dixon is a tremendous player.
3 total touchdowns tonight to set the new record. Blaze Taylor will have to take a knee. And 18 more ticks for this third quarter. Arkansas State now in a 14-point hole, and Freddie Knighton, who has played admirably and sharply tonight, will take his offense back out of the field. And again,
Well, the super glue's out. We're in big trouble.
I mean, they gotta go to whatever they can right now to fix Kenneth Dixon's jersey right now.
If we see some duct tape in that right there, Adam, all bets are off.
Yeah.
They get the super glue out, and you know they mean business.
Can Freddie Knighton put it together? Louisiana Tech's over 500 total yards. Arkansas State at 275. Knighton tossing over the top, and it's picked off by Xavier Woods. He laterals it back. Adarius Barnes. And Adarius Barnes still on his feet inside the 15-yard line.
Well, Trez Houston was the intended receiver, and Freddie Knighton, there's a flag, a late flag on the play. But Freddie Knighton knew that Houston had the initial coverage by Barnes beat, but he forgot to look out in front of the receiver, and he would have seen Xavier Woods standing right there. Number 7 picks it off. It's not only the initial coverage, it's the coverage over the top.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the intercepting team, number 94. 15-yard penalty, Louisiana Tech ball, first down. That's the end of the third quarter.
That is twice in this game that at the end of a quarter, Arkansas State has turned the ball over. Xavier Woods with the pick, and Barnes took it inside the 15.
Yeah, Freddie Knighton just didn't see the coverage down the field. Xavier Woods does a great job of reading the quarterback and making a big play right there. Louisiana Tech is in business again.
offensive linemen and telling each one of them into their face, we did it. Not I did it, we did it.
And what he's referring to is the 86th touchdown scored in his career to set the new FBS mark, passing Keenan Reynolds, who will have a chance to overtake it once again later. Head of steam for Dixon, and a broken tackle, and a stiff arm for extra yardage and a first down against Rocky Hayes. This guy's having his way with the defense now.
And there you see the burst that Dixon has. You know, it's patience to the line of scrimmage and then the burst to get to that second level and into the secondary. All of those things are coveted on Sundays in the NFL.
First down from the 12-yard line for Louisiana Tech. Dixon, you see the cut ability that this guy has. And he only ends up with a yard on the play. Again, you see the yardage as well. He started the day second all-time among active players in total career rushing yards. He does surpass Keenan Reynolds. I'll see Donnell Pumphrey, who is closing in on Marshall Faulk's all-time San Diego State record. He'll play in the Hawaii Bowl against Cincinnati this week on Christmas Eve. Driscoll pumps, Driscoll throws, looking for gains. Broken up by Taylor. Good play by Blaze Taylor. And Marcus Gaines, the sophomore from Covington, couldn't haul it in.
This is actually very well thrown. The back shoulder throw to Gaines from Driscoll. And then Blaze Taylor does a great job of not panicking. You don't have to see the football. In that particular case with the back shoulder throw, the receiver's going to tell you when the ball's in the neighborhood. Just play the football when it's getting to the hands. The receiver will tell you when.
Blitz coming, empty set. Driscoll has to get it back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like he did. Woodson Luster bringing the heat that time. That's what happens in the empty set against the blitz.
A lot of times it's an automatic for a defense. When an offense goes empty, no personal protectors for the quarterback, the defense brings extra bodies that the offense simply can't pick up.
Now, this is an important field goal with less than 14 minutes to play. If Jonathan Barnes, who's hit from 50 and 20, hits this one from 28, it makes it a 3-score game. That's what he does. 17-point lead for Louisiana Tech. Louisiana crew that's done a stellar job tonight and has had to call a lot of flags that have been on the field. How often? Remember how I told you we had just about everything in this game? Have you ever heard a sideline report on the referee status in that regard?
That wasn't even the official that was bleeding earlier in the first half. We're just talking about a pulled calf muscle.
It's been that type of night. We've had just about everything in this ball game, but right now it's Louisiana Tech. They've outscored Arkansas State 20-3 here in the second half. Blaze Taylor brought down shy of the 15-yard line, but a penalty marker, as has been the case often, is thrown on the play.
The game's New Year's Eve, right? Do you have that set up, or you have someone working on that, or what's the story?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you get back to me when you have that.
We'll be ready to go. Louisiana Tech with a horse collar penalty. So 15 yards added, and Freddie Knighton taking a shot downfield, and Bryson Abraham almost picked it off. Twisted and turning, could not corral it. And he is a little bit slow to get up. Pascal was the intended target.
We talked about it, Adam, that this is not Arkansas State's strong suit. Pascal is going to go on just a vertical route, and Abraham does a nice job of staying what they call in phase, which just simply means on top, and that left hip came down hard. He's up and moving now, but that was tremendous coverage.
Bryson Abraham out of Jennings High School. He had 3 picks this year. All of them were pick sixes. Plus, he had a fumble recovery against North Texas for a touchdown. 4 defensive touchdowns this season, along with 17 pass defenses, which was second in the conference. Trey Spencer at the top of the formation takes his spot. And he's got to guard Pastor. Knighton finally with a completion to Houston. That snaps a stretch of 6 consecutive incompletions for Freddie Knighton. 7 yards to Houston.
And Knighton certainly is at his best when he's on the move. A very good job by Houston corralling that one, but they're going to have to make some plays down the field. They need some chunks right here to get back in this one.
Well, one play over 20 yards on the day so far for Arkansas State. Knighton under pressure, under Ferguson's pressure, hitting him hard. Good sportsmanship there, an incomplete pass looking for White out of the backfield.
Jalen Ferguson is going to be a star. I mean, he's somewhat of a freak of nature, 6'5", almost 260 pounds, and you see the quickness. I mean, he is a prototypical edge rusher that has next day ability written all over him.
Trent Taylor back to return this Luke Ferguson punt. And a good Ferguson punt. Contact was made shy of the 10-yard line. But a very good punt by Ferguson to pin him inside the 15. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about this young man. There's a reason for it. Because when you get this deep into the college football season, you're going to see a lot more of the group of 5 teams in action during bowl games. You're going to start to see some of the stars and some of the guys that you're going to want to know who they are come late April for the NFL draft. Dixon's one of them.
Yeah, we saw Dixon's receiving ability on 2 different touchdowns and his adjustment to the quarterback right there. And watch this. He sees it to his right. He has the lateral movement to get there, and that's on a bad right ankle. The doc has talked about throughout the evening, but he really has it all. He has power, he's elusive, he's a pass protector, he's a good receiving back. He's going to be playing on Sundays for sure.
186 yards and 3 touchdowns for this offense, which has a 3-score lead. Gains, bobbles, and controls to turn it into a gain. About 5 yards there.
Speaking of another guy that I think has a real chance to play in the NFL is Jeff Driscoll. I think he's about 2 years behind in terms of development, as you would expect out of a 5th-year senior, but that's what will happen when you have gone through the gauntlet like he has. You know, learning 4 different systems, and he's settled into what his God-given ability looks like this season at Louisiana Tech.
Good shift by Scott, and an explosion for Boston Scott. This will be the longest run of his career. And the redshirt sophomore from Zachary, Louisiana is finally out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
Quarterback zone read, and the Red Sea parted. You saw the defensive end hesitate a little bit. Driscoll gives it inside, and then there's a polar to kick out the opposite defensive end, and Boston Scott takes full advantage of it.
He had 169 yards all season coming into this game. He had 77 on that run alone.
Josh Robinson, number 68, the right guard for Louisiana Tech, is now up and moving. But he was partly responsible for that last play with Boston Scott almost took it the distance.
Redshirt senior in his 15th career start. Helps set it up for Scott for the longest play in New Orleans Bowl history. This being the 15th year of the bowl game.
Arkansas State thought they matched up pretty good defensively with Louisiana Tech's offensive line, and Louisiana Tech's offensive line has played really well here tonight in both phases, pass protection and also in the run game.
76, Clayton Landry is the new guard to replace Josh Robinson. T formation, they do this in short yardage, and it's a run for Dixon. Takes it to the 4-yard line.
How about the T formation? And we can see it right here. 3 backs, the quarterback's under center. And go back to Woody Hayes, learns this from Lou Holtz, and Skip Holtz throws it on the field right there. It's a bunch of big bodies, it can go either direction. It's a balanced formation with 3 running backs and the quarterback under center, which Driscoll doesn't do a whole lot. There's a flashback to the past right there.
Play clock winding down. Jeff Driscoll wants a timeout, and he'll take one here with 11 to play. You're not kidding. Went old school with that T4. Knockout punch. Dixon. And he's got his 4th touchdown of the night. Two through the air, 2 on the ground, extending his all-time FBS record. Now 87 touchdown score.
And he's keeping that football too. Does the NCAA allow that? He's going to have to pad that lead because Keenan Reynolds is going to get some in his bowl game. I guarantee you that. Ricky Jones in it, really a fullback, had a good kick-out block that time, and then Kenneth Dixon steps up inside of that.
Barnes adds the extra point, and now Louisiana Tech is turning this into something we haven't seen on the opening day of bowl season. It's turning this into a blowout. It's been the Kenneth Dixon show, the Arkansas native playing against a team from his home state. 4 TDs scored today.
One jersey.
Well, tonight it's been a couple. An emotional night for Dixon, along with a lot of these players. Several of them, including Dixon, will be playing their final collegiate games. Blaze Taylor, just the kicker to beat. And Arkansas State with a response. First career kick return for a touchdown for the sophomore from Auburn, Alabama. 98 yards. If we know anything about Arkansas State, is that they can score points in a hurry and they can score them in multiple ways.
They have a knack for coming back in the 4th quarter, the second half in particular. Blaze Taylor's been close to this 2 other times. And this time he just has to beat the kicker, Jonathan Barnes, and then take it to the house. Well blocked, and then Taylor just turns on the afterburner.
He has 2 career punt returns for touchdowns. That is first kick return for a touchdown. Remember, J.D. McKissick banged up in this game, so he's handling the kicks now. And now Louisiana Tech is going to try to make this a 2-score game, trying to cut it down to 16 points. And they're going to go T formation here. Old school for 2. Knighton back in the end zone, and it's caught by Griswold. And it's a 2-possession game with 10:38 to play.
Griswold was one of the running backs in the backfield, number 19, the tight end, and he eventually leaks out to the back of the end zone. Play action pass. Freddie Knighton is just going to roll, and you can see number 19 coming right into your living room right there. That was a very well thrown ball. Play action pass, and all of those running backs in that T formation just break. You have one going to the corner of the end zone. Griswold was going to the back of the end zone. You also had a running back going to the flat, and it was well thrown by Freddie Knighton. This could get interesting, partner.
Hey, if it's anything like the other games we've seen today, this is Nio and the Camellia Bowl in their first ever FBS bowl game. You saw the Cure Bowl was an 11-point game as well. This has turned into a 2-score game. Here's Boston Scott. Maybe a little bit of pep in the step of Arkansas State after Louisiana Tech had scored 24 unanswered points. They come back with a special teams touchdown. And remember what Arkansas State does better than anybody in the nation. They take the ball away, they score on defense, and they take points off turnovers.
Yeah.
Can they do that now? They might need one against Louisiana Tech here.
Yeah, that's a great point. We haven't seen that tonight, but that's certainly how they made a living. 34 takeaways, 26 INTs, and they've scored 8 defensive touchdowns. Do I have those numbers right, by the way?
Yeah, you nailed it.
And Driscoll's going to have to make some plays in the passing game because I would think defensively Arkansas State is going to sell out against number 1, who used to be number 28, but the result's the same, and Dixon has been gashing him all night.
Dixon, can they bottle this guy up? Right now, they can. He's got the first down to the 36-yard line as we check in with Doc Punch.
Talk about Arkansas State being able to come back. The turning point of their season was against South Alabama on October 13th. They were behind in the fourth quarter and scored 29 unanswered points in 5 minutes and 10 seconds to win the football game. They have not been beaten since.
They were 1-3 going into that game. That was the game that Freddie Knighton returned to their lineup, and they've rattled off big-time offensive games and 8 consecutive wins.
Well, didn't Doc tell us that Blake Anderson said at halftime we have him
we were right where he was? Yeah, sure.
He might have been right.
This is Dixon, patient running, chopped down by Copeland after a 3-yard gain. Inside of 10 to play. And again, can Arkansas State's defense do the job now? We know that Arkansas State offensively has done it this year, but Louisiana Tech has put up a season-high 630 yards in this game, too.
Well, and Arkansas State needing a takeaway, but the problem is Kenneth Dixon doesn't turn the ball over much. Ball security is very heightened with him, and then Driscoll rarely makes bad decisions this day and age.
Driscoll under pressure, underneath for Taylor, slipping tackles, and he's got the first down. Woodson Luster finally ran him out, but Trent Taylor keeping his feet, keeping the play alive for 8 yards to move the chains.
Safety Cody Brown missed a tackle. They actually had that play for next to nothing. Trent Taylor really exhibited his short space quickness right there. They compared him to Wes Welker, and that looked Wes Welker-ish right there.
You see what Louisiana Tech has done tonight, a New Orleans Bowl record, nearly 640. No Dixon right now. Scott in the game on first down. Driscoll off play action. And the pocket collapsing, swallowed up by Jake Swally, the junior out of Kansas. JUCO transfer with a loss of 5 on the play.
Ball's got to come out right there, Adam. He went through his progression. Nothing's there. This one has to go out. Right there. Throw the ball out of bounds beyond your deepest receiver, which was Trent Taylor on that particular play. Throw the ball away. Don't give up the yardage. Now you're behind the sticks, as we see right there in 2nd and 15.
And now it looks like Louisiana Tech is in little rush with the time winding down as we approach the halfway point of the fourth. 4-man rush. Turner on the sideline. And Rocky Hayes brings him down in space near midfield. 3rd down.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech is certainly going to take the air out of the ball, but they're going to have to convert right here at 3rd and 8. The press coverage, quarters press on the back end for Arkansas State just simply means a lot of times it's too high safeties, but then there's press at the line of scrimmage to try to eliminate that dink and dunk ability that Louisiana Tech goes to once in a while.
It's a rare 3rd down in the second half for Louisiana Tech's offense. Just their 3rd down. Showing that press coverage. Driscoll over the middle. First down. Guess who? Trent Taylor again. 9th catch today on 12 targets for Trent Taylor. And he's got 140 receiving yards as well. 130 rather.
Well, that's the quarters press coverage beater right there. You have an inside receiver that finds the void. You can't press slot receivers because they're off the line of scrimmage. And it gives Trent Taylor a little bit of movement and a release to begin with. And then he goes out and just seeks out the void in that press quarters coverage that we saw out of Arkansas State right there.
140 yards for Trent Taylor tonight. First team Conference USA, closing in on 100 catches for the season. Penalty marker thrown, delay of game here.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
If nothing else, you appreciate Trent Taylor and his gall. Earlier this week, remember the U.S. women's national team was playing here in New Orleans, and Trent Taylor went out of his way to send Alex Morgan, who's now married, by the way, a tweet inviting her for beignets at Cafe Du Monde. You got to appreciate the moxie, if nothing else.
Yeah, or find out whether she's married or not. That might have been a good start.
Maybe not as well researched of a tweet
exactly.
as we were
Do your due diligence, man.
Here is Driscoll on a run and out of bounds after it picks up about 4.
Plays like Wes Welker, but he needs to do a little research.
Junior out of Shreveport. He's been really healthy, the only healthy receiver all year. Everybody in this receiving core for Louisiana Tech just about has dealt with an injury. Henderson earlier this season and tonight. Turner missed time with a hamstring injury early on in the season. We've got a bunch of other young guys who've been kind of around, but the veteran crew, he's been the healthiest of that bunch. Driscoll trying to turn on the Jets and brought down by Copeland at the 32.
Jeff Driscoll came out of high school as a dual threat guy, and we've seen him doing this kind of stuff for quite some time. He climbs in the pocket. He sees his escape hatch out to the right side. Career high right there. 432 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, no bad decisions. But it's his ability to move as well and throw on the run. All of those things will be appealing for NFL teams at the next level, and he too is going to the Senior Bowl.
Blitz, throw to Dixon. In the open space, and the cut past Quantario Heath gets him the first down all the way to the 15-yard line.
What's that new dance craze they're talking about? Half of it's like
they're dabbing these days, Kel.
Well, isn't there something about a stinky leg or something? Or
I think you're about 2 years behind on the stanky leg, but that's fine.
Well,
that's
the
not a
stanky
problem.
leg, that was the stanky leg right there. That's what that was by number 1.
I've been waiting all year for you to say stanky leg on national television. Thank you so much, my friend. What a night. Over 200 yards for Kenneth Dixon and 4 total touchdowns. Scott gets drilled by Robinson.
Let's take a look at a stanky leg right here. Whoop! Are you serious? You know what made that happen? It was his left ankle that he could push off on.
That's right.
It's his right one that's wounded a little bit, but you can go stanky leg when you have a good ankle like that.
Kid who started playing football in 3rd grade as a left guard. He moved to running back a week later. He hasn't touched another position since.
That was a good decision by a youth football coach.
You seem fast. You want to play running back?
Can you hang on to the ball? You're it.
Driscoll. Taylor again. Ripped down by Money Hunter, the son of Torrey Hunter. And that is catch number 10 for Trent Taylor tonight. Another double-digit catch game for him. He's had a handful of those throughout his career.
And he is impressive. I like the Wes Welker comparison. Paul Turner ran a vertical and cleared out. And then Trent Taylor just runs to the open spot outside, and a very well-thrown and well-timed pass by Driscoll. In the meantime, Arkansas State may not get the ball back.
Yep. 3rd down and 2, and if they convert here out of the T formation, might be the final punch. Here's Dixon. Not a lot of room there. Kari Lane was the first man there to try to force Dixon into the tough spot. Any points at this point makes it a 3-score game, and it feels like it just kind of pushes this game out of reach. Arkansas State will use the timeout with 2:37 to play.
3 touchdowns. Good for him.
Barnes. This is a crucial field goal to make it a 3-score game. And he will indeed do it. There is a penalty marker thrown on the play, though. If it stands, he's 4 of 4 tonight. This might be an Arkansas State penalty.
Personal foul, leaping, defense, number 52. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, Quantario Heath got called for a leaping penalty. You cannot leap over a blocking shield to try to block a field goal. And again, it's basically a moot point. Watch 52 come flying in Cam Chancellor style. I'll give him the athletic credit if nothing else. Board and take the fresh set of downs instead.
I mean, you handle the football and all bets are off. The ball.
Remaining makes the stop on Dixon. They will not use a timeout here. Yeah, something crazy happens. You give up the ball, you fumble the ball, you get a pick six, something along those lines could make things that much more interesting as Dixon comes off the field.
And all of those things would be odd things to happen, but it's the only way that they could happen. I mean, if you have 3 more points on the board, essentially this game is over with.
Chris Humes is getting checked out for the time being. Clock stopped at 2:19. And Louisiana Tech closing in on what would be its first victory in the city of New Orleans in 9 tries, and the first time that they would be back-to-back bowl game winners in its program's history. And of course, you can tune into ESPN3 for the post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One immediately following the game. Now the clock will continue to move here on the referee's signal. And there it goes. There goes the clock now. Louisiana Tech could take its time, take a timeout if it runs all the way down.
Well, Jeff Driscoll is certainly going to let this get at least under 5, down to 3 or even 2 before he snaps the football. Come out of the huddle now, and you're looking right up at the clock. It's down to 7. Snap it with about 3 left.
And snap it with 2. Blake Martin diving ahead. They get the stop. It's 3rd down here. And now Arkansas State will use one of those 2 remaining timeouts. 1:42 to play. Again, the headliner tonight, we've touched on it a couple of times. We'll close it out with Kenneth Dixon. 4 total touchdowns over the course of the evening.
You know, one of the things that we haven't talked about, even though we've talked a lot about number 28, who became number 1, is he has played through a bad ankle. He's gimped around today. He was healthier today than he has been for a few weeks, but tremendous player.
Kenneth Dixon on the sidelines right now. No surprise, he is our Capital One player of the game. 215 total yards, and now he has the record for the time being over Keenan Reynolds, who will have a bowl game coming up. There is Martin. Now he gets stopped. Cody Brown on the stop. Arkansas State will likely use its final timeout here with about 1:36 to play. So again, this would be a chip shot field goal, and it would make it a 3-score game. It ends up working out in the favor of Skip Holtz to give up the points, take the points off the board after the Arkansas State penalty, because now you can run a little extra clock. Make sure you hold on to the football 3 times, and hopefully Jonathan Barnes, who's been very sharp tonight, is able to bang in what would be his 4th field goal and pretty much put this game out of reach.
And the only jeopardy, obviously, was a running back putting the ball on the ground or, a mishandling of it between quarterback and running back. And if I go up 17, this game is over with. And I could have done that a couple of minutes ago. In the end, it works out perfectly for that team. Jeff Driscoll had himself a career night and well-deserved. And I think that's what redemption looks like and sounds like and statistically is Jeff Driscoll coming into this building and playing extremely well.
Another chip shot try, this one from a much easier angle at 22 yards. 4 of 4 tonight for Jonathan Barnes. Jeff's brother Jason, quarterback at Florida Atlantic this year as well. They didn't get a chance to play each other this season. He did some good things this year too. So did Jeff tonight. And Skip Holtz gets the bath. And a well-deserved one here. The 51-year-old born in Connecticut when his dad, Lou, was the assistant at UConn. Went to school in Arkansas from 7th grade through his high school graduation. Went to Holy Cross, then went to Notre Dame, overlapped with his father for a year. Coached under some legends in Bobby Bowden. And then his father, Lou, again. And in his 3rd season, it's going to be back-to-back bowl wins for Louisiana Tech for the first time in its program's history. Took 9 minutes off the clock on that last scoring drive. Pretty much salted this game away. It'll be a fun year next year. Louisiana Tech's going to have some high expectations. They're going to have some tough games. They're going to play at Arkansas. They're going to play at Texas Tech in non-conference. And you got to imagine that they're going to be thought of highly in Conference USA. Blake Anderson's team's going to have a difficult schedule next year as well in non-conference. Picked up by Griswold, and he takes it across the 30. How about this? That is the defensive coordinator, Blake Baker. And there is Lou coming over to say hi to Skip.
He might get himself a bath, too. Everyone's getting dunked down there.
White on the carry. We mentioned the defensive coordinator for Louisiana Tech, Blake Baker, as well. He is part of the Arkansas State Red Wolf history as well. He was the safeties coach a couple of years ago for Brian Harsin. Ball's loose on the ground out of the hands of White, but he jumped back on top of it. Minute to play. Well, this is a little bit sweet for Blake Baker as well. Spent a very good year in Jonesboro, Arkansas before got the chance to slide over to Louisiana Tech under Manny Diaz, and then became the defensive coordinator when Diaz left for Mississippi State this past year. Former Tulane defensive back. He knows this building well, too. Knighton throwing it out wide for Sterling Stowers, and he's out of bounds with 25 seconds to play. Wild night tonight, Cal, and it ends up with a Louisiana Tech bowl victory.
Louisiana Tech did what they had to do. Mainly, they took care of the football. Remember, coming into this game, Arkansas State was taking it away in bunches. And that was really Arkansas State's opportunity to win this game, to force Jeff Driscoll into some bad decisions and take the football away for an offense that was going to have trouble running the football down the middle, especially against Louisiana Tech. In the end, it took Jeff Driscoll having a career night, and glad to see it.
Knighton tossing for Houston, and it is intercepted by a Darius Barnes, the newly minted father who just became a dad on Thursday. when his girlfriend Kim gave birth to his baby daughter Aubrey. That's one heck of a cap for Darius Barnes in what has been an incredibly emotional week for him and his family. His girlfriend Kim Francis, former Louisiana Tech track star, he joined her on Tuesday at the hospital, was with her for 2.5 days, was not even with the team. Aubrey was born on Thursday afternoon. He got to hold her, he got to be with her, and then he hustled his way down to New Orleans to join his club. And that's the first interception of his season, the 10th of his career. He's going to be playing in the NFL PA Bowl in January on ESPN2. That's a heck of a week for him. Snaps being taken by the backup Ryan Higgins.
Oh, shit.
He'll run forward to try to run out this clock. And it will be back-to-back bowl wins for the first time in program history for Louisiana Tech. Skip Holtz leads this team to a 47-28 final over Arkansas State in a meeting of longtime rivals renewed for the first time since 1998. SportsCenter is coming up next. We have live coverage of our postgame trophy ceremony presented by Capital One on ESPN3 right now. For Kelly Stauffer and Dr. Jerry Punch, our wonderful, fantastic crew, Adam Amin sings So Long. SportsCenter coming up next. Capital One on ESPN3 right now. For Kelly Stauffer and Dr. Jerry Punch, our wonderful, fantastic crew, Adam Amin sings So Long. SportsCenter coming up next. Welcome to the ESPN3 postgame trophy ceremony presented by Capital One and the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. The festivities down on the field are about to begin after a Louisiana Tech victory. But first, this message.
This is the Quicksilver card from Capital One. It has no cashback limits, no changing categories, no nonsense. Because this is the hard-hitting, always hustling, leave it all on the field cashback card. Quicksilver earns you unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. Now that is music to my ears. What's in your wallet?
Time now for a look at the Capital One Cup overall standings. The Capital One Cup awarded annually to the best men's and women's Division I college athletic programs, and with it a total of $400,000 in scholarship funds for student athletes. Penn State leads the way on the women's side after their national championship won in women's soccer, followed by Duke and then Florida State. The men's college cup belonged to Stanford. They sit atop the men's standings after their victory over Clemson. And to find out more and follow your favorite school in the standings, you can go to CapitalOne.com. Let's go down to the field and join Dr. Jerry Punch. He is with the winning head coach, Skip Holtz.
Coach, 684 yards total offense, a new New Orleans Bowl record. How would you describe what your offense accomplished tonight?
You know, impressive. I think the words that I've used to describe guys like Kenneth Dixon and Jeff Driscoll all season with what they've been able to do and the way they came out and executed. We had a lot of penalty yards today with some things we had to overcome, but these guys kept competing, and I know Jeff needed 425 to get to that 4,000 mark in passing yards this year, and it was something we wanted to get for him, and he came out and I thought executed beautifully, even losing our starting receiver on that first series of the game with his foot and Carlos Henderson. But really proud of the way these guys were able to open some holes and the way they just continued to compete on both sides of the ball.
You coached a lot of running backs in your career, but what is it that makes Kenneth Dixon so special?
Passion, just his passion, his energy. He's very talented. He's big, he's physical, he's athletic, but he's a guy you just got to get the ball in his hands. He's impressive, and this is the last game that he's going to play in a Louisiana Tech uniform, but it's certainly not the last football game he's going to play.
You mentioned last games. You gave Jeff Driscoll a chance to come here and turn his football career around. How gratifying is it to you that he gets to go out on this field as a celebration?
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. I mean, the young man is his character, he's humble, he's just everything that you want in a quarterback. Tall, athletic, I mean, smart. I really could use a million words to describe him, but really proud of the way he came in here, the way he led, the humble attitude that he took, and that's why this team and this coaching staff has such phenomenal respect for him.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Enjoy the celebration.
Thank you very much. We will. Thank you.
Skip Holtz with Dr. Jerry Punch in his third season at Louisiana Tech. Back-to-back bowl victories for the first time in program history. They have now won 8 of their last 10 to close out this 2015 season. Their third season in Conference USA. They were picked to repeat as the West champs. They fell just short their final game of the regular season. They pulled it off in impressive fashion today to win the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the center of the field as we begin our awards ceremony.
Welcome to the awards ceremony at the 2015 R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. What another great game in the history of this game. To present the championship trophy, please welcome from R+L Carriers, Ron Capagreco.
Thank you. On behalf of R+L Carriers, I'd like to congratulate both teams, Arkansas State and Louisiana Tech, for a great game. Coach Holtz, I'd like to congratulate you on this great trophy here, and thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of our president, Dr. Geis, our athletic director, Tommy McClellan, and the best fans in Louisiana! And to a team that I am incredibly proud of for their fight, their determination, their courage, the brotherhood that they have, we will gladly accept the trophy as the 2015 R+L Carrier New Orleans Bowl champions.
Thanks, Skip. And now, to present the Most Valuable Player Award, please welcome the chairman of the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Paul Valto.
Thank you, Billy. With 102 yards rushing, 113 yards receiving, and 4 touchdowns, Kenneth Dixon is the MVP of the 15th annual R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl.
Kenneth, I know you have a few words you want to say. The other day when we talked about this, you were a little superstitious about looking at it, but it's yours to take home now. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Hey, first off, I'd like to give honor to God, for being that strong point in my life and, always giving that peace. And secondly, to my family. Thirdly, to my teammates, man. Y'all been great. And the offensive line, y'all worked so hard. Everybody came together, Coach Hester always talked about brotherhood and everything, and we locked in and we stuck to our goal, and man, we here, How about them dogs? I get happy.
Thank you again. That concludes our ceremony. Thank you again for coming. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
687 yards of total offense, a New Orleans Bowl record for the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, headlined by what Kenneth Dixon was able to do tonight. And a 47-28 Louisiana Tech